be able to stay home, brother.
This is the Parley, a place where guests are required to put their money where their mouth is, where we double down on the discourse and conversation. That's the only currency accepted. Proudly presented by the Nefarious Media Network.
What's going on, party people? Welcome to the Parley, the place where conversation is the only currency accepted, proudly presented by the Nefarious Media Network. I am one of your hosts. This evening, the Godfather Nate Milton, over 10 years in the game, ain't a damn thing changed. I'm still your favorite podcaster's favorite podcaster, and I'm joined on this episode by my tag team partner, by a man that so many of you know and love. He is the angry intellectual. He is the mayor pro tem of Los Angeles, California. He is the mastermind that engineered the trade to bring Luka Doncic to the LA Lakers. And most importantly, this week, ladies and gentlemen, one time for the birthday boy. Y'all give it up for my brother, my co-host, and my friend, the professor, Chris Ely. Can we rock? What's up, Doc?
What's up, man? Yeah, I just got through with another trip around the sun. My wife threw a mini party for me in LA Live, hung out with some friends, some family, and that was cool, you know. And for the first time ever, I think in history, I've gotten this recording on the Substack as well. So I posted it to the Substack. So if you are on my Substack, watch us on YouTube, like the video, subscribe, comment, ask questions, all that stuff. Donate to the Patreon. Donate to the Patreon if you got the money. If you know people that aren't paid subscribers to the Substack, get them to do that, because I'm just like, I'm not even that many away from 200 paid subscribers. I've been sitting right at like 189, something like that, in paid subscribers. What happens, Nate, is once you get 200 paid subscribers, the Substack algorithm is a lot more kind to you, and it kicks your stuff out to more people, and the paid subscribers come in a little bit more.
Well, you know what, Chris? Normally on Nefarious Media, we like to promote our own stuff, but I think tonight, Chris, for one night only, for your birthday, Chris, want to send a shout out to everybody that has joined us from your Substack, and much like the Jerry Lewis telethon, much like the Lou Rawls Parade of Stars. If you grew up watching that, man, I think, Chris, you said we what, like 11 away from 200 for you?
Yeah, 11 away from 200, and then whatever we are on the Patreon too. I'm trying to hopefully double dip here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we need to. We've grown a lot in the last year on the YouTube side of things and on the Patreon side of things. The difference between YouTube and Patreon are the people that are subscribed, or not Patreon. The difference between YouTube and Substack are just the people that are subscribed to the Substack are the people that are like kind of real thirsty for like news that isn't going to bullshit them, you know?
Right.
And they like my style of storytelling and all that. And those people typically have a little bit higher of an income bracket, so they can afford to pay for the Substack a little bit easier. Our YouTube demographics are probably a little bit all over the place, you know.
Yes.
We got sports fans, we got political science fans, we
Marvel
got
fans,
Marvel fans, and all that. So it's just we're like, when you're cooking, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we're doing right now. So
yeah, we are cooking here at Nefarious Media, man. Of course, if this is your first time checking us out here on the Parlay, Nefarious Media is the home for thoughtful, truthful, and turned up commentary on the world as it is, not how they would like you to see it. And Chris, I'm gonna make a promise to you, a promise that I can't keep because I'm not on the Substack right now, but I'm gonna make a promise on behalf of the Substack people. By the end of tonight's show, we're gonna put you at 200 paid Substack subscribers, Chris. I believe it. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm putting it out there to the universe, brother.
I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Yeah. So just get on board with something, man. The Patreon, the Substack, whatever. I don't know how to allow people to gift memberships yet. Because someone just asked. I don't know that stuff. So if you could tell me how to do it, let me know, and I'll enable that feature so you could gift memberships.
Yeah, all of this is still a work in progress, man. Nefarious has only been around for a year. Like Chris often says, it's like we're flying a plane. We took off from the runway and we still building the plane midair. So it's a work in progress, but we getting there.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so it's just been a great couple months, even with all the drama at Fullerton. The drama kind of did me a favor too, because I'm making way more money on Substack than I ever was.
Talk to a player.
Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. And I was going over those numbers with my wife, and the lady that does my taxes, going over my books. I never thought that anything else was going to be my bread and butter outside of teaching. The only thing that sucks about the drama at the university is the benefits were very, very great. And my wife is not going to have benefits through me if we go to the community college, because community college benefits are garbage, man. No, they're good for me, because for me it's like, so at the Cal States the benefits are free for you and anybody that you need on your benefits. They're free for at the community college I have to pay $45 a month for them, and anybody I add to them, like if I add my wife to the benefits, it's $755 a person. So
damn, that's a long way from 45, Chris.
I know, right? I don't even know how
you go from 45 to 700.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, right?
There's a few numbers in the middle. Like if you said you was 45 and she was like 100, 150, I'd be like, okay, I understand that, Chris.
Right. Yeah, man, it's insane, you know. And like my wife has HMO through her job, but
Right.
she needs specialized things, and that's why it was good that she was on those benefits. But we're working all of that stuff out. Hopefully, by the end of this year, and I am saying by the end of this year, I'm hoping by the fucking summer, but hopefully soon we can get benefits through what we do here at Nefarious to make sure everybody's like taken care of outside of the workplace, because I just don't like this the state of California. They're going to take care of university professors because I mean I think that's just important to them, but other jobs, they're just, the benefits are just, you kind of have to fight for those benefits.
Yeah.
And hopefully
you have to fight for them, Chris, but also it's just like, and we'll talk about it here in a second with our first topic, the way that our current government is set up, those benefits that a lot of people depended on, that a lot of people counted on, that a lot of people needed to get through the day, through the week, through the month, through the year, they're not guaranteed anymore, Chris, like they were, 5, 10, 15 years ago.
Nah, they're not. It's like, and I think a lot of people kind of took these things for granted, like in the United States of America, just in general, we really don't have rights in the traditional sense of the word. Because a right is something that can't be taken away from you, right? Like I have the right to be black and live kinda, but
lean on me with Morgan Freeman. I ain't gotta do nothing but stay black and die, Joe.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, and the thing is a right, like the rights that we have in this country can be taken away from you, right? So it really makes them more like glorified privileges, right? So health insurance, all that stuff, those are privileges. And if you're not putting the right people in office, then you're gonna. This is the end result of that stuff is Trump and benefits going away. And
a lot of people never thought Roe would go away.
Yeah, people took that for granted. And that's a tune I've been singing since undergraduate, because I would always ask, and my professors would ignore me too. I'd always ask, how do we guarantee these things are going to stay right? And they just be like, Roe v. Wade is settled law and stuff. The Voting Rights Act is settled law. Even as they were chipping away at it, I got that from a lot of political science professors. So you kind of understand why people are jaded with politics, because they were probably sold the same things that a lot of us were sold, as far as like, the Roe v. Wade and all this other stuff. But this is just the end result of not being engaged in the process, right? And people overthink politics. The only thing politics is the science of the distribution of goods. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? And who's gonna get what, when, and where. That's really all it is, man. So you like when people say, "Oh, you're a shill for the Democrats," and all, I'm a shill for getting things that the community needs to get done, and we need happening. Not just the Black community, but all communities that are not getting what we need. The ones they call the less of us. We need things, man, and we're not going to get them from Donald Trump. That's just a fact. I don't know how to explain that any plainer.
No, and you mentioned the voters. A segment of the voters, at least, maybe a little bit jaded, Chris. I feel like tonight, at least on this show, I feel like we've been raided. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about the raids we're going to talk about here in a little bit, but I'm talking about our fearless producer, Raymondo Williams, two-way Ray, if you will. They had a prior engagement, so he'll be joining us a little bit later. But now, because of that, Chris, I got to produce my own goddamn show like a savage, man. Like, we ain't got the fancy graphics folks is used to seeing. The intro was a little bit wonky. That, unlike we usually do, because Ray ain't here and our backup producer Jay is not here either. So I had to hit that Thanos. I do it myself.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, it's like when you call Ray on him taking a company car out, gallivanting about the DMV, not handling his producer responsibilities. He gets an attitude with you.
Get his back up.
Yeah. Like you're the bad guy for saying, "Hey Ray, why don't you do your producer job?" And he wants to.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Shout out to Ray though.
Shout out to Ray. We love Ray. He'll be joining us in a little bit. Hardworking brother. But Chris, I figured since it is just you and me here at the top of the show, let's start off with kind of a topic that a lot of people have been talking about for the last few weeks. And I've been seeing some very interesting reactions to this topic, particularly from maybe some corners of the political spectrum that you would think they would have the opposite opinion. But it seems like most folks, even some folks on the Republican side of the aisle, Chris, are like, hey, what the hell is going on with ICE? Like this is not what ICE is supposed to be doing. So we talked a little bit about it on the last show, Chris, with the NBA's reaction to the ICE raids. For all the wrestling fans out there was a vocal demonstrative chant last night on the AEW broadcast where it was audible, like fuck ICE. The whole arena was chanting fuck ICE during the Brody King MJF match. It feels like, Chris, ICE is like their approval rating is below the ICE, even amongst some folks who you would think would be more conservative leaning.
Right, man. I've been driving around town and stuff. I'm seeing like billboards with the FI stuff on it. And this isn't just like LA proper. I'm seeing this stuff in Orange County, just all over the place. I think the sentiment, once you see ICE and February was just a horrible month for all of us. With the New Year's Eve, the 2025 ended on a sad note and began on a sour note with the death of Keith Porter in the Los Angeles community in Northridge. And then that's followed up by what happened in Minnesota with Renee Nicole Good, and then with Alex Parey. And Alex Parey and Renee Good are a part of a group that does not normally happen to. Keith Porter was a black man, so it's easy for people on the right to kind of say, well, yeah, he had it coming. Renee Good, they tried their best to other her. It wasn't that successful, and we'll talk about why it wasn't. But with Keith Porter, when they tried to turn this, not Keith Porter, Alex Parey, when they tried to turn this guy into like this monster, this left-wing operative, and he was a terrorist and all this other crap. It didn't match what people saw with their own eyes. That was the biggest deal with it. It's like, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, Kristi Noem. We got eyes, motherfucker. We can see. It's like, why are you telling this story when everyone's seeing this other thing? Right. It got to the point where the NRA had to get involved on it, because again, this doesn't match what's supposed to happen, and it's unfortunate that we live in a country where lessons only get learned when blood is shed, and in this case, it was innocent white blood that didn't do anything. There's not even any evidence in the case of Renee Good that she was even participating in the protests. Like these ICE agents are like surrounding this woman in her car. She drives. No one was. If you're looking at the tape, nobody was about to get hit. It's just manufactured BS. They're saying us. And the tape of Alex Parey is even harder to watch because they took this guy's gun. I've watched that so many times. It doesn't get easier watching it. It gets you like, if you're like to the point when you're like a journalist and you're consuming a bunch of that stuff, and your wife sees you writing this stuff, and they kind of like, you got to take a chill on this. You're intaking so much of this stuff, but also the story has to be told. And Keith Porter was not a big guy. He had a gun that he was legally able to carry. And they took that away from him. They shot him. Fortunately, we know who the assailants are now. I wrote an article on those guys. And hopefully an investigation is done and they're brought to justice, because this is just this kind of stuff should not be happening in the United States of America with anybody, right?
Right.
And we need to make sure that none of these people that died, and these are only the things that have been reported, Nate. There's a bunch of other stuff that's happened, other killings, other acts of violence that haven't been as widely reported as Keith Porter, Renee Good, or Alex Parey. And I think people are opening their eyes to ICE, which is better late than never.
Yeah. So here's the thing, Chris, because I feel like
still there.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. All right. We're still here, guys.
Hear me?
I hear you.
There we go.
All right. It's coming back.
All right.
I hear you.
We'll do it live, Chris. We'll do it live.
Yeah.
This is what happened when Ray's not here, man.
I know.
We about to suspend him, fine him, all the available outcomes for punishment. But I think, Chris, I want to hear your thoughts on why so many conservative people seem to have finally had the light shown in their eyes. But my theory is, Chris, one of the best and worst things about Americans, particularly Americans that would subscribe or describe themselves as conservative, is American individualism.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me what to do. You can't step on my freedoms. Hey, don't tread on me, brother. In some cases, that can be a good thing, Chris. When you have that drive, that individualism, that drive to lead you further. But in other cases, like we saw during the pandemic, if a lot of these people that had that drive would have sat their happy asses at home, we'd have far less deaths. We've gotten out of that thing way sooner than we did. And I feel like a lot of the folks, particularly on the right, are seeing ICE and they're like, hold on, man. You killing these innocent people. You taking this one dude out of his house in the middle of the cold snow in Minnesota in nothing but his drawers, throwing him in the back of his car. Turns out he wasn't even the person you was looking for, because the person you were looking for was already locked up. You're stepping on people's lives. You're interrupting the normal, regular flow, because a lot of things that people say they want, Chris, the truth of the matter is a lot of what folks want is just, I want my life to stay exactly as it is. I don't want anything interrupting my sense of normalcy. And so I feel like a lot of those folks, they're like, oh shit, this is real. This is not something on TV that's happening a million miles away. This is not something that's happening exclusively to black or brown people or other types of people I don't care about. This is happening to people like me, which means it could happen to me, which means we need to do something about this.
Right.
Does any of that kind of ring true to you, Chris?
Yeah, it does. And from a psychological standpoint, people do relate more to people that look like them. And sometimes things are not real until they see somebody that looks like them, or until you see somebody that looks like you going through what you're going through, you know. Like the thing with the Trayvon Martin killing in 2012, 13, 12, I think it was 2012. The main issue with that was the white people who saw that murder, which is what it was, in my opinion. They related to George Zimmerman as the guy that was, you know, he was innocent and he was trying to patrol the neighborhood against this scary black kid. And that was, you know, so when it went up, so even with the videotaped evidence, that jury psychologically couldn't separate themselves from the fact that this was a black guy in a neighborhood disturbing the peace, and this white guy was trying to stop it. It's harder to do that when it is somebody white. In the case of Renee Good, you can try to other her as much as you want to. At the end of the day, she's a white woman. And contrary to popular belief, Nate, and audience and people on the Substack and the YouTube, conservatives do know other lesbian LGBTQ people, you know. That's not foreign in MAGA land, you know. And not every conservative kicks out their gay family member, right? They might do things like try to pray away the gay, you know. They might like say, hey, you can't do that stuff in my house, but you know, they do have these people in their family, you know. Ask Alan Keyes, ask Dick Cheney, you know. And the answer isn't going to always be, let's just kick them out, you know. So when you see a woman like that getting killed by ICE agents, you can other her all you want to, but at the same time, the conservative mother or father out there looks at that and they're seeing that could have been my lesbian daughter, you know. In the case of Parey, he checked all the boxes. There wasn't even a realistic way you could other him. He was white. He wasn't any kind of ethnic white.
Nope.
From what I could tell, it wasn't like Irish or Jewish or Italian or anything like that. He was just a white guy. He had a gun.
Legal gun owner.
Yeah, legally allowed to carry. And he got pepper sprayed and his gun taken from him and shot, you know. The same thing happened to Philando Castile when Philando Castile announced that he had a gun and they still blasted him away. And similar with Alex Parey, it was just that you see this happening to this white guy. For me, what made the Alex Parey thing just so jarring to watch was just the size of him and all those men that just kind of gathered around him and just jacked him and, you know, just really pretty much killed him in cold blood. It was unnecessary, and it was just it's a very like sad moment. I don't know if you want to call it watershed, but it was a seminal moment. It's definitely one of those things that you look at and you're like, my God, man, this can happen to anybody, and nobody is necessarily safe. And that's why the reactions from conservatives have been so strong,
And also, Chris, like, I agree with you. I think the Parey killing was a seminal moment in the country's overall sentiments toward ICE and DHS. But it's also like, if you're somebody on that right side of the aisle and you voted for Donald Trump, 45-47, you voted for these policies. You cheered when he announced what he was going to do at ICE, because he was going after the bad people, Chris. He was going after the bad people. Mm-hmm. If I'm one of those Republicans, if I'm one of those MAGA folks, I'm looking at Parey and even to a certain extent Renee Good, and I'm like, those ain't the people we wanted you to get.
Right, yeah.
You're not even keeping your promises to us.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you're not making the neighborhood safer. We're paying a lot of money for groceries, and you're killing our own people, Mm-hmm. People are looking at that and they're side-eyeing it. Again, it really shouldn't have had to come to this point, but unfortunately in this country, it always has to come to this point. It just is what it is. It's like people do not learn their lessons until with the George Floyd stuff during the pandemic, and the fact that happened on videotape, none of us had any choice but to sit with that once it happened, and people have to be kind of like with that kind of intimacy to things like that before it feels real to them. So George Floyd was going to be that relatable figure just by the sheer presence of that videotape, Yeah. These white people, without the videotape, they would have been sympathetic without it, but the videotape just adds to it, especially if you're a conservative, especially if you cannot find any like legitimate cognitive dissonance to kind of other the person, or to say, oh, he was breaking the law or doing this or doing that. Because people are watching this, like you watch like Maria Bartiromo on Fox News. She was at a loss for words. That woman is so crazy, but even she was like, couldn't even defend it. You have the ones that, that are going to always try. Like
even Sean Hannity out here on these streets, like obviously he didn't just go 100 miles an hour and just blast Trump, but he's just like, it makes you wonder what's going on here. Like, is this supposed to be what's going on? Like when Hannity is questioning you.
Yeah. And Hannity is questioning you because his audience is questioning him.
It is.
Like that's the thing. It's like the audience sees what happens, and like again, videotape always tells a different story. Especially like when it happens to a white person. And the videotapes are long enough to where you can't even really draw any legitimate conclusions that are going to make sense to people. You can't say, oh, well, you didn't see what happened before, or you didn't see what happened after. What you saw was enough, So it's
and also, Chris, maybe I'm the crazy one, Chris. Maybe I'm thinking too literally about this, Chris. But that's not your damn job, ICE.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think ICE needs to be a thing in the first place, Chris. But if ICE is to be a thing, what they've done, especially in Minnesota over the past month or so, what they've done in California, what they've done in other parts of the country, Chicago, over the past year or so, That's not part of your damn job description, Ice.
No, it's not. You know, that's the thing. And ICE has always been able to kind of like fly under the radar. They were started under a false pretense in the first place, under Bush's administration post 9/11. Everybody had this paranoia about brown people from the Middle East, Muslims, and all that. So it was a way to kind of stereotype these people legally. And they formed this group called NSEERS. I can't think of what the acronym for it is right now, but it was that was like their registration program, to where if you are a Muslim person, a brown person, over the age of like 16, a brown man, you can enter them in a registry and kind of track them, make sure they're following the laws and stuff like that. And it was just a way to kind of the ICE was formed off with the premise of discriminating against people legally, with racial profiling. ICE is not an old group. I heard a radio host the other day say, to put it in perspective, ICE is younger than the Disney movie Lilo and Stitch. You know, it hasn't been around for a long time. It's only been before. When I was writing on Medium, I wrote some articles on them. They're not very good articles because I wasn't writing for a publication with the editor. I didn't have any AI editing tools or anything like that, so the articles aren't great. But they're decent enough to understand that these people have been a problem for a long time. You know,
real quick, Chris, real quick. You know, we do have some new eyeballs that are joining us from the Substack, and you know about Chris. You done read this man's articles. You know what the good professor's all about. You may not know me. You know, I've been in the game for a little minute, been broadcasting since 2000, and Chris knows. You know, I wouldn't say I'm religious, but I'm spiritual. And one of my favorite stories from the Bible, Chris, is the story of the prodigal son. Right, and for those that don't know, I'm gonna give you the Cliff Note version. Prodigal son was this young man that grew up in a wealthy family. The family just provided for him, man. They loved him, showed the brother love. And then he, you know, as we all do, Chris, when we get older, we think we think we know. And he was like, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do me. So he took his inheritance from his father and went off to the big city. I don't know if it was Jerusalem, Bethlehem, wherever. I wasn't there. But it was one of them big cities. And he was out there living his life, Chris, having the time of his life, until he ran through all his money and found out all of his friends in this city were only his friends because he had money. And what did he do, Chris? He had to come crawling back to his family because they were the only ones that would accept him. And the moral of the story is, don't turn your back on your family. And I say all this to say, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring in the third member of the team, our brother, our friend. We love him, even if he tried to go to the big city and do his own thing. Y'all give it up for two-way Ray Williams. And Ray, may I just say, well, the prodigal son has returned. What's up, Ray?
I've been gone for a week, man. I've been gone since Saturday. What's going on, y'all? Always a pleasure. I was like Glorilla. I was letting Chris cook. Big Chris come through fine and let him cook. So I was just staying in the background. Yeah, you know how it is, brother.
Speaking of the background, Ray, can you throw the background up? I couldn't figure it out, man.
Oh, the background. Oh, I got you. But yeah, I had to deal with some shoot job stuff. That's all.
No worries, worries. But just so you know, Ray, we got company tonight. Chris posted the link to his Substack, so we got a few new viewers checking us out here on the parlay this evening. So need you to be on your best behavior, cuz.
Oh, of course.
Don't embarrass us in front of company, cuz.
When am I not on my best behavior? Yeah. But I was really I came in for like at least the last 10 or so minutes. I was listening to you guys on the YouTubes, and yeah, you guys make some compelling points, and especially like not only the stuff that ICE is doing, but also like why is Border Patrol in Minnesota? What border are you protecting? The Canadian border?
Thank you for bringing that up too, because the people that killed Parey, when they were found out, they were not members of ICE. They were Border Patrol, and that's another thing too. So what it tells you is the cultural rot from ICE has spilled over into other organizations, because when the murders first happened, and I got to be careful with the word murder, because you're not a murderer until you get tried and convicted for murder. So let me just give that disclaimer. But those fucking dudes murdered that guy, man. And those guys, first of all, they had Hispanic surnames, which is not surprising from me, because the badge comes before anything else with these people. And they weren't even members of ICE. One of those guys was a part of the Border Patrol since 2014. Donald Trump doesn't become president until 2017. So he had training behind him. The other guy came in during Trump's first term in 2017. So the rot in DHS, what you need to do is you got to get rid of ICE completely. ICE has to go. It's a garbage organization. It's always been trash. It's not beneficial to anyone.
Right.
Border Patrol is a little bit different, because when you live in a nation state, you do have to protect your borders. That comes with living in a country.
Like so the border between Minnesota and Illinois, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And to this point, yeah. But you got to have this stuff. You have to have Border Patrol, a good Border Patrol. But these people have to be trained in the correct way. And they have to, and they shouldn't be policing, like you just said, Nate. They shouldn't just be policing, like, I don't know why Border Patrol needs to be in Minnesota. Is Minnesota touching Canada even? I know it's a Great Lakes state. I'm not sure if it's touching.
I think so.
Okay, so yeah, so it's like right there. So yeah, maybe to a little extent, but Border Patrol isn't supposed to be policing cities. That's not their jurisdiction. Bush was a lot better. W. Bush, he was a lot better at like working kind of in undercover, letting these operations do their dirt and in a way that wasn't so like over the top. Donald Trump just doesn't know how to do that.
You could have just stopped at Bush was better, Chris. Like that could have been the end of the sentence, because as crazy as it is to say, damn, W is like W was a bad president, Chris. I think we can agree on that. But this man Trump is W is to Dr. J as Trump is to Michael Jordan. Like this brother that elevated the game of being bad.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing out that map. I'm not a geography major.
Yes, so there's MIMO. It's like the only reason I remember Minnesota and Illinois is because when I was a kid, Chris, and to this day, I cannot look at a map of America where the states are segmented and not see my boy MIMO. Minnesota, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana. It's a little top hat and all the way down to his little boots. MIMO is just a man stuck in the middle of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. It's a metaphor.
Yeah, it's weird because like even like the first time I went to Chicago and someone and one of my relatives that lives in Chicago was like, yeah, let's go to the beach. I was like, Chicago, you guys got beaches here? And I know that part of the Great Lakes operated like a beach, you know. It's like it's like it had waves and people were surfing and all that shit. I was like, wow. Yeah, it's
I meant Iowa. I'm sorry, Caitlin Clark. I meant so it's Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mima.
Oh,
put some respect on Iowa name, Nate.
And my editor at Lincoln Square, Susan Demas, lives in Michigan. So forgive me for not being up on my Michigan geography, Susan.
Okay.
Shout out to Susan.
Yeah.
And Downtown Brown.
Yes, Gerard Downtown Brown of Nefarious Media Network is a Michigander, if you will, out there with Big Gretch.
He's gonna be fun to talk to. Not this Sunday, but the next Sunday.
Yes. But I think Chris, because I do like this is a great topic. Well, technically it's not great. Great's maybe the wrong word, but I think it's a fascinating topic. But I do want to have time for other things on the episode. But if you were to give advice, because part of your job, part of your history, as you've told us, Chris, is not only political science, but in crisis management.
Yeah.
If you were to meet with Donald Trump, if you were to meet with Kristen Noem, if you were to meet with DHS and ICE, and they were actually to listen to your black ass, what would you tell them besides abolishing ICE? Because that's a given. But how would you, if you were the leader of this country, fix this and be able to bring us together, man, in this moment?
Okay, so the first thing I would do with Noem and Trump and JD Vance and all those losers, and this happens in business too when you're doing crisis management as well. So I would throw the guys that killed Renee Good, Keith Porter, but mainly Renee Good and Alex Reddy. Keith Porter wasn't caught on tape, so that's a little bit more of a tougher sell. Not because he's black or not because he's less important, just those other two were caught on tape. And I would throw the guys that did it under the bus and just say, like, yo, they weren't following orders. You know, I'll just be like,
rogue officers.
Yeah, they went rogue and all that. That would be the easiest way of dealing with that. The problem with doing that now is that should have been the first thing they did.
Yeah.
If you do it now, it's gonna make you look even more bullshit than you already are. So, but you still to make the public feel better about that, to give these MAGA people some plausible deniability when it comes to you all. Those guys need to be punished. You know, that's the first thing you need to do in crisis management. If managers are not trying to take the blame for something, you have to find a clean way to assign blame to another culprit, you know, and you hope that the public accepts it. And if they don't accept it, or even if you say you like the employee, you have to kind of make them go through the ringer. Politics is a little bit different, right? Because I just think ICE is so tainted. There's so much taint on that acronym, and on border, like, people just do not have faith in it, to the point where I saw a recent poll where like 75% of Americans want to abolish ICE, but you still had about 35, maybe 40% of Americans saying that that border patrol needs to go away completely, you know, which is not understanding politics. You know, you do need, like I said, you do need like like agencies like Interpol, the International Police, and things of that nature, Coast Guards, all that stuff is necessary. The thing is, though, we have to, there's no faith in those organizations, and it's going to take a ton of cleaning up to get faith back there. Faith no more, you know?
So you're saying at the end of the day, America is just a dead fish gasping for air while a piano goes into flames?
Pretty much, man. Unfortunately, you know, and it's like I became a political science major because not because I believed in the founding fathers or anything like that, but I always was fascinated by the American system versus other systems. I believed in getting elections, manipulating stuff to work in the favor of good people. I believed in the branches of government, and I still think that when done right, all of that stuff works well together. The problem is you have a president that has designs on being a dictator, which we haven't really had that. Maybe Nixon, you can say he probably had those designs, and then before Nixon, you'd have to go back to like President Johnson, Jackson. Like you have to go back a little bit of a ways to find those kind of presidents. Speaking of which, I'm glad you brought this up, Nate, because people say to me that Donald Trump is the worst president in history. These people don't know history if they say that. Donald Trump is the worst president of our lifetime. That's a fact. I don't even
the modern era.
Yeah, the modern era. I'd say if you are under the age of like 115, Donald Trump is definitely the worst president of your lifetime. If you were around the 1800s, though, like those people like Andrew Jackson, or was it Johnson?
Yeah.
I think it was Johnson. They tried to get us back into slavery, you know?
Right.
These people were the presidency has been filled with a lot of opportunists, a lot of like rapists, pillagers, plunderers, just disgusting human beings. The thing that makes Donald Trump unique as compared to the rest of them is social media didn't exist back then. And also, I don't think that because of social media, Donald Trump is able to kind of manipulate the party to bend it to his will a little bit easier than maybe an Andrew Jackson, an Andrew Johnson, Warren G. Harding. He's probably able to do it a little bit easier than those guys, you know. But yeah, Trump has a lot of things to his benefit that kind of aid him in his quest for autocracy more so than other people, you know?
Yeah. And I think, Ray, to kind of put a button on this, to Chris's point, man, like Trump may be the worst president of the modern era, but like there's a lot of presidents in the dead ball era. There was a lot of presidents in the before times that was doing dirt. And I think when you look at a president like Harding, Ray, and you compare him to Trump, I think what makes Harding not look as bad, even though he did some bad stuff, is as opposed to Trump, when it comes to like the ego of it all, I think Warren G was able to regulate it. Come on, Substack. Substack is like, we are not looking at this brother anymore. Matter of fact, we taking away subscriptions now.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I just checked the Substack, and it said that this has been viewed 347 times or whatever.
Okay.
We
Nice.
need you to view, but we need you to view it on the YouTube channel. So
Yes.
if you're watching it on Substack,
First of all,
click
subscribe to
on-
Chris's Substack. We only need
Yes.
11 more to get him to 200.
yeah, to get to 200 paid. If you're a free subscriber, that's cool too. But for the algorithm to be friendlier, to make it so where the money multiplies faster when you hit 200 paid. But you need to click on the link and watch this on YouTube directly, because I'm not sure Substack is counting those views to the YouTube algorithm. So just make sure you're doing that. I'm gonna keep doing this until until they match up with each other, you know. But yeah, so like until the both algorithms are matching up, you know.
You know, Ray, I was going to talk about like kind of the weather that we've had, the inclement weather, the polar vortex.
Indeed.
But Chris is talking about algorithms and AI and stuff like that. And when you think about this technology, Ray, it really makes you wonder, man. Speaking of Wonder Man, Ray, let's talk about this joint from the good people at Disney and Marvel. I'm gonna let you stop me, Ray Williams. I'm like Macklemore, can't hold me down, brother. But Chris and I talked a little bit before the show. Chris has not seen Wonder Man yet. Have you watched any of it?
Come on, you know I don't watch nothing.
I was giving you an opportunity, Ray. We know you don't watch TV.
I appreciate the benefit of the doubt, but always doubt, brother, when it comes to television shows, unless it's wrestling related. But no,
yeah, for those that are new to the program, Ray is our Daniel Bryan. He's vegan and he don't watch TV.
Well, you if it's
everybody.
If it's Washington Generals related, you watch that too, right? And
Washington Generals.
You're a Wizards fan too, aren't you, Ray? Or
yeah, but they're pretty much the Generals. Yeah,
I'd say I love this. Like Chris meant the Wizards, but said the Generals, but the Wizards are kind of like the Generals.
No, I wanted to talk about the Commanders, is what I meant to say.
Oh, the Commanders, the commies.
Yeah.
I call them the Mandas.
The Manders. Big week for Ray's Wizards. Not only Trae Young freshly into the building, but now you have one of the greatest two-way players in the history of the NBA when he's healthy, Anthony Street Clothes Davis, brother.
We gonna be good in 2027.
Look, this team would have been good in 2021 if this was the lineup.
Exactly. That's true. But I was shocked by seeing that trade, and to see even like just what the Wizards got back or gave up for him. It was like it didn't give up too much for him. And then
no,
I think what is like Chris Middleton and then a couple other players and then some picks.
A couple of number ones, but I think one of the number ones is like a late round number one pick.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad.
Like a late first round pick, so it's not too big of a
and like you say,
not too big a price to pay.
And Davis is still young enough to where if he could just stay healthy, like he still has a pretty high ceiling. So
it's a big if, brother.
Yeah, very big if. Make sure, make sure he don't on the ice.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, the whole world would have diabetes, Ray.
Yeah. But I mean, hey,
if a wish were a fifth, we'd all be drunk, Ray.
Don't take away. How you gonna take away hope from a Wizards fan? How dare you?
Like I have nothing to give in the first place.
Let me have this one bit of hope.
Yeah. Hey, at least, Ray, at least they're gonna be good on 2K next year.
That is true. And then you could turn injuries off on 2K.
Yes, you can. Anthony Davis played all 82.
right? But then also with your boy, no shade to the Hawks, but your boy Trey Young is gonna help us out a lot too. So I'm pretty optimistic. I'm not like we going to the chip optimistic, but I'm like we might make it out the play-in optimistic. Like we might get that 6, dog.
You like what's that movie, Tropic Thunder? Be like, hey, we gotta finish 5th. We gotta finish 5th, guys.
So
yeah,
hopefully we get it together.
Big news in the NBA. Like I was kind of surprised by the James Harden trade going to Cleveland from LA.
And then Garland to the Clippers.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think with Cleveland, they were in the mindset of they were in the am I hearing it?
I'm trying to check the numbers. I'm trying to check the how the YouTube is doing, and
gotcha.
Chris is monitoring these numbers, Ray.
Right,
yeah. I got you. Don't let me stop you. But like I said, go ahead and cook. But I think Cleveland was under impression is like we got to shake some things up because we've had some tremendous seasons, including I think it was last year. They were the top seed in the playoffs, right? Or at least either one or two. Yeah, in the East, right? So, but they couldn't get over that hump. So I think they're trying to find something to get over that hump. The only thing is you're relying on James Harden, an older James Harden, to get you through the play.
Darius Garland.
No, I'd say with the Clippers, but I'm saying
no. What I'm saying is they traded for a star. They traded their star for a star that was 10 years older than the star they just gave up.
Yeah, a younger star who's just entering his prime, pretty much, for like you said, for an older ball dominant star. And it's like you're gonna have him and you're gonna have Donovan Mitchell. They're both ball dominant. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we did have those questions when he was with the Rockets, and it was like, well, Chris Paul's ball dominant and Harden's ball dominant. How that's going to work? That worked for a little bit, but like you said, Harden's older now, and he didn't come through that much in the playoffs when he was younger. Like he's always had spectacular regular seasons. But he was never able to be the person to be like, get on my back, boys. I'm gonna take us at least to the conference championship. So,
I know some people who are gonna be happy in Cleveland. The strip clubs, man. Them strippers gonna be paid, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
But like all these deals, Ray, in the NBA, man, like I'm like the Giannis intrigue and like LeBron and his status with the Lakers, all of that stuff is just so intriguing to me. Like it really makes you wonder, man.
Okay.
Let's talk about Wonder Man, folks.
So nice he had to get it out there twice. All right.
It's like in wrestling, Ray. If you mess up a spot, you don't go right back to it. You got to let some things cook and then come back to the spot.
Let it breathe. Yeah. I get it.
So Ray and Chris have not watched Wonder Man. I've watched the entire series. And special programming note for those that are members of the Nefarious Media Patreon, in the near future, the Avengers Initiative will return. Jennifer Smith, Brittany Monet, and myself will be back to talk about Wonder Man. Full spoiler-contained review. So, like, this show had to be something special, Ray, to be able to get Jenny and Brittany and myself and the schedules aligned for the Avengers Initiative, because we ain't done one of those in damn near a year. So, y'all stay tuned for that. If you want to check out that episode, $3. Sign up for the Patreon, and you have access to that and over 300 hours of audio and video. But I'll talk about Wonder Man. So it's a limited series on Disney Plus, part of the Marvel Studios lineup of shows. It's under the Marvel Spotlight banner. And to this point, the only other show that's been a Marvel Spotlight show was Echo. And much like Echo, Wonder Man was released all at one time, Ray. And this initially made me kind of scratch my head and have bad feelings because it felt like they did this to Echo. They did this to Wonder Man. Ironheart, they pretty much put out in 2 weeks. Eyes of Wakanda was a 1-day drop. And so it's like, what do all these shows have in common? It's these minority-led projects. And so I was like, man, this ain't right. But then, Ray, what much like Chris in his situation at the job, what some mean for ill, God can use for good. Because I think the one-night drop actually helps Wonder Man. I think it's a show that's better as a binge than as a week-to-week. So Wonder Man basically follows the story of Simon Williams, who is played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. You got to say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest. And Yahya plays this actor. He's a struggling actor in Los Angeles, California, and he's a really, really good actor. But he's one of those actors that I'm sure Chris has met in his lifetime that doesn't have perspective outside of their craft, because one of the first things we see with Simon is he's auditioning for a bit part, or he's actually got the bit part on American Horror Story. And he just goes through all these suggestions to the director, and finally the director's like, all right, Simon Williams, everybody, great job, and just fires him on the set. And so that's where Simon Williams runs into Sir Ben Kingsley's character, Trevor Slattery, who we saw in Iron Man 3. We saw him in Shang-Chi. He had his own short, All Hail the King. And so Trevor Slattery's story is he's trying to get back into Hollywood after so many years of people hating him for being the Mandarin, being locked up in America, and then getting locked up in by Shang-Chi's father. And so he's trying to come back into Hollywood. Simon's trying to make it into Hollywood, but the one thing holding Simon back besides his own process, Chris, is he got superpowers, man.
Yeah.
And this world is a world where if you have superpowers, you cannot act because of something called the Doorman Clause. And the Doorman Clause is something they talk about all show, all episode long, all series long, but we don't really see it until maybe the midway point of the series. And it's, I'm going to say it, Ray, one of the best Marvel Disney Plus episodes of television ever. That episode where they go into the history of why superheroes cannot act in this world. But long story short, Simon Williams grew up loving this movie called Wonder Man. His dad took him to, and it sparked his love of acting, grew him closer to his father. So flash forward, they're making a Wonder Man remake, and Simon and Trevor are like, hey, let's go for it. We can do it. And so the show basically takes you through their ups and downs, their bond as a friend. Simon has to come to grips with his powers. Trevor has to kind of decide who he wants to be, not just as an actor, but as a person, because there are groups that want him to basically spy on Simon. I'm not going to get into who or what. And he's got to make choices about his friendship and his freedom and his profession. Mm-hmm. And it's a really deep kind of character study type of show, guys, where we only get glimpses of superpowers for the first 7 episodes. Most of what we get from this series is 2 great actors, Ben Kingsley and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Got to say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest. These 2 great actors playing off of each other, and it's some of the funniest Marvel stuff that I've seen, but also some of the most emotional Marvel stuff that I've seen, particularly recently. The 8 episodes go by really fast. I think they're all at about 25 to 35 minutes, so it's not a huge time investment. And then it's probably one of the most well-written Marvel shows. And so I would say I put it up there with like Loki and WandaVision and Falcon the Winter Soldier and Miss Marvel is like my top 5 Disney Plus Marvel shows. I would recommend it to anybody that is interested in the world of the MCU and a kind of a slice of life character, anybody that's interested in good acting, anybody that's out there on the grind, Chris, because this what got me, because there was a part of the in the show where Simon goes home and Trevor goes home with him, and they're like, "Why you bring this random ass white man to this Haitian family gathering?" And he's like, "This is my friend Simon from work." And so basically, we learn a little bit more about Trevor or about Simon, Chris, and his upbringing, and how he's trying to do this acting thing for a minute because it was what kind of connected him with his dad. And his brother, like, he loves Simon, but his brother is like in finance, and his brother and Simon beef because he looks at his brother like, "Man, what you doing this acting for? That ain't a real job. I've been trying to get you a job at my company, but you keep telling me no, da 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 da." And so there's friction there. And so after that, Simon and Trevor like are leaving. They're in the car, and they kind of pull off to the side at this park and just have a conversation. And Trevor's like, "I think we can get this part. I think we can get the role for Wonder Man and the sidekick, and we could do this." And Simon's like, "I don't know, man," because he's feeling down after that experience with his family. And Simon's like, Trevor's like, I'm sorry that all of this happened to you in your childhood. There's some stuff I'm not telling you, but it kind of adds up to the person Simon is. And Simon just kind of looks at Trevor, then he looks out the window and he's like, "Now I appreciate it, Trevor, but I don't need a sympathy. I don't need pity. I don't need understanding. I just need a fucking break, man." And the way he said it, I was like, "Whoa!" Like Ray, like I feel like Cat Williams. I think I speak for all real people in attendance. If you've been on the grind trying to do whatever your profession is, whatever your career is, like that line right there, it's like, damn. Because all you need is one opportunity to show somebody what you could do, and that could be your break. And that's all Simon is like. If I don't get this Wonder Man part, I might be stuck doing these day player roles forever, because this is a part I know that I can kill it. I can crush it. But I've also got my own personal baggage and this superhero stuff holding me back. And so the series just kind of follows them and a shady government agency that's not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Message kind of follows that, Chris. And by the end of it, I think you're going to be left with, like, I don't know how they fit into the world of the MCU with the Avengers and Doomsday and all of this other stuff. But I think when you finish the series, you're going to be like, you know what? I want to see more of those two and whatever adventures they have, whether it connects fully to everything else or not. So I would say Wonder Man is a series I would definitely recommend, man. If you're interested in Marvel, if you're interested in good acting, there's some funny stuff too, Chris, because it's formatted like almost like an HBO prestige dramedy series. And it's very much like, I haven't lived in LA, but a lot of my friends, particularly, people like Brittany, have said, yeah, this show, LA is kind of like a character of its own in the show. Like, there's one part where Simon thinks his secret is going to get out and they have to chase somebody. And Simon's like, and this part's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler, but he's like, "Let's go, Trevor. We got to get him." And Trevor's like, "Do you mean we're using your superpowers?" And he's like, "No, I'm using my car. But to clarify, do you or do you not have superpowers?" And he's like, "Let's go." And so they take off running. And then the next thing you see, Chris, because this is at the beginning of the episode, it like flips to the big Wonder Man credit, and they're just stuck in LA traffic. And it's just like some relatable shit set in the world of a superhero show. So I enjoyed it, man. I think a lot of people, like, I think it's like still at 90% on Rotten Tomatoes from the audience and the critics, which is crazy. Like, Marvel doesn't really do that these days. So yeah, I would recommend it if you're curious about it.
That's crazy. And I do want to bring up, I don't know if you had something to add on to that, Brother Chris. But,
no, you go ahead.
Well, I had a question for you, Brother Nate. You did mention that they did lump together all the episodes and bring it out. Do you think because of this positive reception, now Disney can have faith in this particular property and maybe more seasons will come up in the future?
So it's interesting because one of the creators of this series is Daniel Cretton. And that name may ring a bell to some people because he was the director of Shang-Chi. And he is also currently directing. He's in the production stage of directing the next Spider-Man movie. And at one point,
Oh, I'm
What's
sorry.
up?
He's one of the Daniels from that directed the Everything Everywhere All at Once, right? Or am I thinking of another Daniel?
He may be.
I think he's one of the I think he is one of the two directors named Daniel, and they just went by the Daniels. I was like,
Okay. But so he's got Spider-Man that he's working on now. He's already done Shang-Chi. He's got Wonder Man, and then he was offered to direct Kang Dynasty when Kang was still a thing before Jonathan Majors got in hot water. And so he's somebody that Disney and Marvel seem to be pretty high on at the moment. I know just from seeing Yaya's Yaya Abdul-Mateen II, my bad, brother. From seeing his socials, like he had fun with the project. Ben Kingsley has said, as long as they want to pay me to play Trevor Slattery, I'll play Trevor Slattery. So I think there's a world where we could get a season 2 of Wonder Man, but it may just end up being the sort of thing where these two characters get to be in more stuff. Like there's a possibility, and this is a comic I think Chris probably remembers from back in the day, like with Shang-Chi, with Wonder Man, with some of these West Coast based characters, there's a possibility they could do like a West Coast Avengers movie or show.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that'd be cool. Because I think, Scott Lang's daughter is like Ant-Man and that whole crew, they in San Francisco. Shang-Chi's in San Francisco. Wonder Man's in LA. I think there's something there. And like I said, Chris and Ray, like I don't think they expected this audience reaction because the show was done, like it was finished like a year and a half ago. Like, I think it was supposed to come out last year, but for whatever reason, they were like, nah, we're going to hold on to this. Because I think it was part of the original, not the original, but the previous Disney Marvel regime under Bob Chapek? That name sounds right.
Or Iger.
Well, Iger's there now, but I think it was Bob Chapek that was doing like the TV stuff. Somebody can correct me, but the people that have reacted to Wonder Man versus, whether it be the critics or just like regular folks watching it, it has been way more positive than I think Marvel and Disney expected for this thing that they were just kind of trying to stuff away. Like they didn't even wait. Here's how little faith they had in it, Chris. They dropped all the episodes on January 27th. They couldn't wait 3-4 days for it to be February and be like, all right, we're gonna put you in the Black History Month, Wonder Man. Know your history, folks. They was like, we gonna stuff this in the twilight of January and see who watches it. Yes, Destin Daniel Cretton.
Okay, so yeah, I got him confused with the other Daniel, but yes, he did direct Shang-Chi, and it looked like he directed Just Mercy as well. Which,
yes,
from what I've heard,
yes, he's I don't know how old he is, but he's a good not new per se, Ray, but like a fresh kind of on the come up type of director, and Marvel seems to be really behind him in his work, like to the point where he's directing Spider-Man, like one of their biggest properties, and so. Yeah, Wonder Man to me was a fun watch. The episode where they talk about why superheroes can't work in the movies, it almost feels like an episode of Atlanta happens in the middle of an episode of Wonder Man, just because it's that kind of funny but also like heartbreaking but also surreal kind of episode. So yeah, man, I think you'll enjoy it, Chris.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to watching it. It's just finding time to watch episodic television
same.
These days. But yeah, I definitely want Wonder Man is definitely something I'm wanting to watch. I love Yaya Abdul-Mateen. Ben Kingsley, I like him too. And hopefully we can make that happen, maybe do a review show or something on it too.
Yeah, he's Ben Kingsley is so good in this. Like, we get so much more time to spend with this character. And then, like, Yaya is hilarious to me because there's a moment where, again, no spoilers, but they go to the director of Wonder Man's house and he's auditioning all these actors and he wants them to just go in the flow, Chris. Just be organic, which is one of Simon's problems. He can't just, like, he's not naturally, like, he's a talented actor, but he's got his process. And so he's just not like one of those people that kind of goes off the cuff. And so he has to do this dramatic scene. And so, like, it worked on the joke worked on me because I couldn't remember the monologue from the movie, but he's just like so into it and he's smashing plates and everything. And the director's like, so Simon, your choice was to give me the monologue from Pretty Woman. I'm disappointed. And it's like, yo, and then I had to actually go and like look up that scene. I'm like, yo, it's crazy because yes, he did the monologue from Pretty Woman, but it was like pitch perfect for how Julia Roberts did it. And you could see like the actor thinking about somebody else's performance and trying to mimic that to impress the director. And the director's like, okay, you memorized that shit, but that's not what I wanted from you, Simon.
Is monologue the one that where she's in the bed with Richard Gere, describing how she got into the prostitution life, or
I forget like Julio or somebody like that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
She's like, yeah, like I'm not one of you treat me like a toy and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, so she's got a few monologues in that movie.
Yeah, it's the one because matter of fact, Julia Roberts actually smashes the plates, which is like I thought that was an acting choice Simon made, smashing plates, and it's like no, Julia Roberts smashed the plates the exact same way Simon did. So like, wasn't nothing about your monologue original, Simon.
Original. Oh, I got.
But yeah, it was funny, man, and like I said, I could easily see. Like, I don't think he's going to be in, like, the Doomsday because they're already working on Doomsday. But I could see him show up and stuff down the road.
Right. Or maybe, I don't know. Well, now that I think of it, because Daredevil season 2, Daredevil is still based in New York, right? So it's not going to be like,
New York.
It's not going to be a coast-to-coast crossover, or maybe Simon's going to New York to play a part, and then you just... he just end up in
all I will say at the end of Wonder Man, we don't know where Simon's gonna end up next. That's all I will say. It's not a cliffhanger ending, but it's like an open-ended ending where it's like Simon could show up realistically anywhere from where they leave him at the end of the series. So and I will say one of the greatest lines in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Don't pretend to be happy for him, Joe Pantoliano. That line makes no sense without context, but in context, you're gonna laugh. Shout out to Joey Pants in the building.
Shout out to Joe Pantoliano. And shout out to Charles Durham 1 on Instagram when he said Trevor Slattery is that dude. So appreciate you watching.
Oh, cool.
Yes, like what Trevor Slattery decides to do in episode number 8, like at the beginning of episode 8, I'm like, I thought I saw it coming, but in a way I didn't see it, much like the Mandarin himself said, I didn't see it coming, Ray. Like what they do with episode 8 was a good bit of storytelling because it perfectly kind of both men's arcs kind of combined at the same time. Like they started off in two very different places, but through their friendship and through the troubles they had to go through to get to this audition and everything, you started seeing them become true friends. And so there's a moment in episode 7 where it's like, damn, why did that have to happen? And then in episode 8, you're like, okay, that's the way that this gets fixed.
Okay.
So yeah, go watch Wonder Man, y'all. Here's the thing, Ray. As much as I'm beefing with Disney right now because they took down a couple of our videos and we were just doing fair use. They took down our video of Chris and Brent and Rachel reacting to the Wonder Man trailer on Super Salad, I think. They took that video down. Even through all that though, Ray, I'm gonna tell you to go watch Wonder Man. Not for Mickey Mouse, not for Disney, not for Feige, but go watch it for Ben Kingsley and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. You got to say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest, right?
Indeed. Go ahead and support those brothers, and I'm sure the rest of the cast did excellently as well. So
one last thing about Wonder Man. Here's how you know it's a good show, Ray. Because I don't subscribe to a lot of these channels, but I do kind of, glance at them every now and then to see, the kind of the Tyrone Magnus of the world, the dude of of the world. You know that the what do they call it, Ray? The manosphere.
Yeah, the manosphere. Yep.
I kind of peep in on the manosphere to see what they think about like Marvel projects, and they're always, oh, here's another episode of the MCU. Here's another episode of Woke Marvel.
Go woke, go broke.
Go woke, go broke. All these brothers was so mad before the series came out. They're like, this show is going to be trash. It's going to be Marvel with their politics. It's going to be woke. Wonder Man's supposed to be white. Why is he black? All of this nonsense, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
After the show came out, all you heard from these dudes was like, it was a pretty good show, but why weren't there enough superpowers? There needed to be more superpowers. Like, now you arguing about the superpowers. You wasn't saying nothing about the superpowers before it came out, player. It's so good they couldn't even really hate on it like they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
They was looking at Wonder Man like I'm looking at the Super Bowl, Ray. It's like, I don't even like none of these teams, but I can't even really say nothing to hate on them for.
Right.
I don't even know why I don't like it. Maybe the problem is me. Maybe the problem is you, Tyrone Magnus. I said it.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
Tyrone Magnus don't listen to Taylor Swift. Or maybe he does, but maybe that's why he's so mad. He like a closeted Swiftie and he can't admit it.
Yeah.
It's okay, Tyrone. Be you, brother.
Yeah, man. No judgment here, brother.
You know where else there's no judgment, Ray?
Tell me.
Down by this pond by my house, Ray.
Oh, yeah.
It's a park, much like the park Trevor and Simon went to. Yeah, it kind of looked like that. And when I go to the pond, Chris, I like to kind of let my mind wander and enjoy nature and feed some damn ducks.
Let's do it. Ray. Where are you? Feeding ducks. I always put it near the top and then it always resets it. All right, here we go.
Yes, so this is the part of the parlay each and every episode where we go down by the pond and feed ducks. And feeding ducks is the segment of the show where we each bring a question to the table. It could be funny, could be silly, could be serious, could be something off the wall. And we bring it to the table and we all go around and ask each other these questions and learn a little bit more about ourselves. So, Chris, since you're the man of the hour, you bringing in all these extra views from the Substack.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go first, brother. What is your question for the crew?
Well, before I get to the question for the crew, for the Substack audience, there's 450 people who have viewed this on Substack.
Nice. Okay.
We need to transfer that to the YouTube channel.
Just
so
click the link, people.
So what I'm gonna have to do with this, and this is I need your help with this, Ray. Whenever we do one of these in a week or so, we have to figure out I know there's a way to stream live from Substack and YouTube at the same time. So we can get those views to count on the tube as well. So please go to YouTube and subscribe to the Nefarious Media Network page. Like, comment, and all that stuff. But we're still in the infancy of this, so we'll work it all out. So
what Chris is saying, Substack people, he ain't mad at y'all. He's not even disappointed. He's just saying, we gonna work on this together. We gonna build together, and transfer the audience eventually from his Substack to our YouTube.
Okay, so yeah, exactly. And for my question, I guess I'll go a little bit serious today.
Okay.
Since this is the debut episode on the Substack. And I guess I want to ask, and there's only 3 of us today. This November, will we have a free and fair election?
Oh, damn. Ooh, so this November, will we have a free and fair election for the midterms Ray, you in DC, you angling, not to put your business on the street. You angling to be at the White House with 45, 47. For the UFC. Go ahead, hit the 45, 47 one time, Ray.
All right. You got me maneuvering. You gotta give me some.
I didn't give you enough time to.
Because then I pushed up the ejecto seat, but then I left the 45. Yeah.
45, 47. 45, 47.
All right, I didn't know that was on loop. Good.
You know what? I actually don't hate that was on loop. I didn't hate
I think
it, right?
it goes together. It kind of has a rhythm going together.
Yeah, I didn't hate that. I didn't hate that. That was the debut of the 45-47 drop. Because we were going to use it last week, but it was a little too insensitive for the topic at hand.
Yeah. I came since I don't know if whoever was in attendance noticed my pause before I said President Trump. But yeah, I was so tempted. I was itching. But yes.
But Ray, for those that don't know, Ray is trying to get press access to the UFC fight in DC. So Ray, you are a DC correspondent. Do you believe we will have free and fair elections in November?
Well, I'm thinking, and I think if I was on the side of MAGA in 2020, I'd be like, when were elections free? Were they ever free and fair? And if I'm on the side of the liberals, the way they're gutting the Civil Rights Act and the Voters' Right Act is like, all right, I don't think they were fair for the last 20 years. I mean, I think, and we kind of, I asked this question, or I asked the question to Brother Chris offline after one of our shows last week, just asking him if he thinks that they're going to get in, like, if there's going to be any big interference that may shut down the vote, and as far as like nationwide. And he was like, it's a very small chance that that's going to happen, since it's like individual states running it. And I think I've been hearing whispers, especially with Pam Bondi sending that letter to Minnesota. It was like, we'll take ICE out. All you got to do is give us all your voter records. I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Tim Walz
like, Drewski, like, what do you mean by that, Pam?
What do you mean, right? And so, I'm gonna just say no.
You gonna say no, Ray?
Like Nancy Reagan in the crack era, just say no, dare. If you know. But yeah, I'm gonna just say no. I don't think it's going to be widespread enough to where it's going to. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. But you can never put anything past this administration. They're gonna at least try. Like we looked at 2016 with Russia getting involved with their bots and stuff, which is what led me to get off of Facebook for a good while. I don't want them Russians looking at my stuff.
Yeah, with the whole insurrection too.
Yeah, and insurrection too. So but do I think it's going to affect the outcome of at least like the House and possibly the Senate shifting? I don't think so.
Okay, so Ray says no, but it won't have too much effect on the ultimate outcome. Not to overstep my place, Ray. But this may be an analogy that Chris has never used in one of his courses. So allow me, if I could be so bold as to teach the teacher on this one, Chris. Because if you look at nationwide elections during the Donald Trump era, it is very reminiscent to an old Hanna-Barbera show that I love to this day. To this day, Ray. And I know Chris probably got fond memories of it as well. It was a show called Yogi Bear and the All-Star Laugh Olympics, cuz.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know about the All-Star Laugh, I'm getting there, Chris. For those that don't know about the All-Star Laugh Olympics, you can pull up a picture, right? While I'm talking, F at that. So the concept.
And Olympics is spelled with the A, so I just want to.
Yes, and it's Laugh, LAFFA Olympics. It's the Laugh Olympics, right? We having fun. But the Laugh Olympics, you had 3 teams made up of all of your favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoon characters. It was like the original cinematic universe of Hanna-Barbera.
Mm-hmm.
And Yogi Bear, this team was Yogi Yahoo. And Scooby-Doo with his team, the Scooby Doobies. What were they doing in the van? And then you had the villains. The villains was all just put on one team, Ray, and they was called the Really Rottens. And your announcers for the event was Snagglepuss. He was up there with his little pink jacket on. Oh, we're gonna talk about the Olympics, having some Murgatroyd fun. and the thing with the Really Rottens, Chris, every episode, it don't matter if they was in first place, second place, or third place. Every episode they tried to cheat to win. Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, the Really Rottens did not win.
Yeah.
But they tried every time. And that's how I feel with these elections with Trump. Every single time, Chris, whether you're talking about 2016, 2020, 2024, going into these midterms, there it is, the All-Star Laugh Olympics, ladies and gentlemen. Know your history. But every single election Trump has been involved in, Chris, they have tried to cheat. They have tried to steal. They have tried to do whatever they can to hinder people from being able to vote, hinder people from being able to participate in the electoral process, even to the point where now you have some people worried that ICE agents may start showing up to the polls in November. And so, they're going to try to cheat because that's what they've been doing. They really rotten, right? That's what they've been doing. But will we have a free and fair election? I think my answer, Chris, is it will be as free and as fair as it can be when you have a cheater and his crew that are kind of overseeing the process. So then the question is, how do we beat that? How do we beat the cheat? And the only way we can beat the cheat for real, is by running up the score with numbers, with turnout, with voters being engaged. Because if everybody shows up and does what they're supposed to do for the betterment of their community, the betterment of their state, the betterment of the country, then they won't be able to cheat us all. And so that's where I'm coming from it at, Chris. But first of all, question number 1 to you is, what did you think of my analogy? And then the second question is, since you asked the damn question, do you think we'll have a free and fair election in November?
Oh yeah. The analogy, I like it. And shout out to Laugh Olympics.
Feel free to use it in your next course, Chris. I give you the blessing.
I think the precursor to the Laugh Olympics was the Wacky Races.
Wacky Races, yes.
And then before that, it was just the Battle of the Network Stars, So anyway, here's the thing with the elections this year. It will be free and fair if Democrats take everything serious. If they take what the Republicans are trying to do seriously, more seriously than they took what's it called? Than they took January 6th in 2020, in 2021 rather. You got to take this stuff seriously, because when I hear Steve Bannon on radio shows talking about having armed militias at polling places, I do think that's something they're going to actively try to do. Depending on the state, they might, the governor, and how sycophantic the state's governor is, they might actively try to do that, right now it's kind of weird. Why am I anyway,
you good, Chris?
I'm good. It's just I'm staring at myself in the middle of this screen. It's weird. It's weird for me.
Chris doesn't like your directorial choice, Ray.
I'll change it around.
It's freaking me out a little bit. But anyway, yeah, you got to take this stuff seriously. Steve, I think that and states are weird, right? Because there are just slightly more Republican governors than Democratic governors right now. Slightly more. All of the governors of red states are men that I trust. Like the governor of Kentucky, Governor Bashir. He's a decent guy. The governor of Pennsylvania, he's cool. The governor of North Carolina, he's a good guy as well. So
you trust Greg Abbott, brother?
I was gonna say, what about Greg Abbott?
Greg Abbott has already shown that he is going to do what Trump tells him to do. You know,
that's true.
He's the reason. Like, and there is some optimism with that though, because Abbott told Trump told Abbott to get them 5 more Republican seats to redraw the maps because we need more Republican seats. There was just a special election. There was a special election in Texas about a week ago in a very ruby red Republican area. I forget the name of the. You could probably find it if you look up special election Texas. It should be the first thing to come up. And the Democrat won, and it was like I want to say it was like a 30-point swing. So the momentum is in our favor. If you look at the special elections in 2025, there was an election in my former home state of Tennessee where the Democrat lost, but because of course the Democrat lost is Tennessee, but the Democrat was able to like only lose by 7 points, whereas before in the past, the Democrats in that district, I think it was Tennessee District 7, they lost by like 20 and 30 points. It was the losses were a lot more. So the momentum is in Democrats' favors. Now, I don't know how, if you are a Democratic governor, if Steve Bannon and them are really serious about the armed militias at polling places, or even if you're not a Democratic governor, if you're a mayor of a city, like, do you send your own armed militias at polling places, you know, to combat ICE? I have no answers for it. So I say all that to say that we have to be diligent. We have to write our elected officials and tell them, like, look, we demand a fair elections. If MAGA wins, MAGA wins. You know, that's just then the country is not where we want it to be. That's something we as progressives and Democrats have to work out. But we don't want voter intimidation. We don't want the trickery and the fuckery that went on in 2024 either. Because I do believe that those elections in 2024 did tilt the electorate a little bit. Whether Kamala Harris would have won or not is a different story. I believe because all of the threats that happened on election day in 2024 were in like blue states and swing states. They were all in swing states. There were bomb threats, and I do believe that there were a lot of people that didn't want to go back out and vote. And if you look at the margins, that Trump beat Harris by 2 million votes, and I do think that it is enough to tilt the election. The problem with all of this, though, is Harris should have mopped the floor with this guy. It should not have been where enough for if 2 million people stayed home, there still should have been 90 million people voting for Harris. So it just is what it is. So I think we will be fine in the country, but we have to just stay on top of our elected officials and demand free and fair elections. Just demand what you want out of these people. They work for us. We do not work for them. So what is that? What does that say? Is that what the Texas election?
Yes. So the special election you were talking about for a state Senate seat on Saturday, which I believe was Saturday, so 3 days ago. So recently, it saw the Democratic candidate, Union leader Taylor Remitt, win by a 14-point margin, but that doesn't tell the full story. Remitt defeated a Trump-backed candidate in a district the president won by a 58-41 margin in 2024. It means the result represents a huge 31-point swing towards the Democrats from that presidential election.
Yeah, and the narrative by these Republicans are going to be, well, it was an off-year election or it was a special election and it doesn't matter. It does matter because, one, it was in a red district and the swing is just so much to where you can't ignore it. So, and I did see Donald Trump try to say, oh, well, even after he promoted this election, he went on his Truth Social and on Twitter to tell people to vote for this Republican guy. And it didn't work, and I think that's kind of why these Republicans are going to be that much more paranoid, especially if you look at what happened just in Texas, what happened in Tennessee, and what happened in the special elections in 2025. It means it's good news for Democrats, but it means you got to be more diligent because these guys are going to try anything. They're going to try voter intimidation. It's ICE, because that's what Bannon said. He said ICE agents are going to be at all the polling spots. So they might try to do something violent against you. Again, I'm gonna talk to other intellectuals about this. I don't know if it's the right thing, Nate and Ray, to tell people to strap up when you go vote, duck if you buck.
And also I was going to ask you, Chris. Also, in Democratic states, can't the governor call on the National Guard too?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the weird thing that we're going to have to wonder about too, is will the National Guard be, and there are a couple Republican governors that I don't think they're going to be listening to Trump. To be honest with you, there's a good significant portion of MAGA that's over Trump. A lot of them are quitting Congress right now over that. Right?
Yeah.
We're almost at there's a realistic chance we could get Congress back before November. The Senate map is a little bit more difficult, but I don't think it's Trump is so unpopular right now that the Democrats do have a realistic chance of winning the Senate by 3, 4, or 5 seats. Maybe not a super majority. And I think if you're a Democrat and you're asked about it, the message can't be, oh yeah, we'll beat Trump and then we'll just make his job harder for the next 2-3 years or whatever. The message has to be that if you get power back, your goal is to impeach him and to remove him. It's got to be the two. You can't say, oh, we're just going to impeach him, because at this point, people are up on game by now. People know that impeachment doesn't mean anything unless removal is involved. So
he's got twice impeached. Yeah,
I was like, he been impeached already, dog. He's like, hey, that's what I do, baby.
Right? Yeah. So
go for the three-peat.
So when you impeach, So, and this is where I say you don't need a super majority of Democrats to impeach to have him removed. What you need is the Republicans to get mollywopped in November. So if they take over Congress by like 20, 30 seats, maybe even 40 seats or something like that, and they take over the Senate by like 4 seats. 4 seats is the median. 1 or 2 seats is the low. 5, 6 seats could be the high. If you get 5 or 6 seats, you can pressure a couple of, because you need 67 for a supermajority in the Senate to get this stuff moved. It's a racist. It's all that electoral college shit, the supermajority stuff. Those are racist relics of the past that sometimes work in Democrats' favor. The states' rights stuff right now does work in Democrats' favor, but the supermajority stuff is there just to keep rich, white, racist people in power. Because you shouldn't need a supermajority. You should only need like a slip majority.
A regular majority.
It's just like one person should be enough. If it's 59 to 51, you should be able to get a motherfucker impeached. And I believe that regardless of who the president is,
right?
That should just be the standard.
Yeah, like that's the crazy. Like even with Bill Clinton, dog, it's like, man, you shouldn't be able to keep your job after you've been impeached, player.
Right? Yeah, it's like how are you still the president?
Like you fired, but you can still come to work, dog.
Right? Yeah. So it's one of those things that's just it never, like, racists do things to keep themselves in power. They knew this. That's why I don't love talking about the founding fathers or wax poetic, or anytime someone tries to argue with me on social media or my Substack or whatever and say, well, the founding fathers thought this and this. The founding fathers were rapists, slave owners, and they were thinking about themselves and their own rights to property. They weren't thinking about everybody,
So that's why you ain't want to do that Hamilton episode with me and Brittany, Chris?
I would have did it. I would have been picking out my issues with it. But I would have did
me and
it.
Brittany just trying to sing, Ray, and this man Chris just like, he was a rapist too.
Yeah,
and
racist. I actually had, and this is a true story. In 2019,
okay,
I had my students, and I don't assign these papers anymore about the Constitutional Convention. I just don't do it anymore. I teach on the Constitutional Convention. I don't have students write papers on them.
Okay.
Because I had this one student, and he, like, his paper was Hamilton verbatim. It's like he watched opening credits, all that, down to when Lin-Manuel Miranda sings the Alexander Hamilton, like it was that plagiarized.
Wow.
From that play,
Damn.
You had Simon Williams in your class? Yeah. And he couldn't think of nothing original.
A young Simon Williams, just
right, yeah. So
that's an orphan bastard son of
right, yeah. So yeah, but yeah, they're all these things in place to make sure white people hold on to power. So Democrats are going to have to start thinking outside the box. Not to go off on a tangent, but one thing is going to be not hack the Supreme Courts. That's the wrong language. Expand the Supreme Courts. Because when you say pack the Supreme Courts, it makes people think you're doing something underhanded, something nefarious, something wrong,
something nefarious, even.
Yeah. But when you say expand the Supreme Court, people understand that a little bit better. I think people are listening more because they're seeing what's the structures, how they're messing up. the ICE stuff, people are seeing how much of a failure ICE has been. People are looking at how much of a failure American democracy is turning into, you know? If Donald Trump doesn't go away after this year, you got to give American democracy like a D-. And I'm talking about even if we get the Senate and Congress, if we get the Senate and the House of Representatives, you still have to give it a fucking D-.
Damn.
You can't even you could get it back in C range if you get a good president and they go in and fix stuff, but there's just too many idiots in the country right now to where you couldn't get you could pass it, but it's a very, very low passing score. It's like that episode of The Simpsons from a long time ago where Bart gets the D- and they put it on the refrigerator or whatever. And his parents are more proud of his D- than Lisa's A's.
Yeah,
right.
That's how you that's how we gotta look at this shit, man. Because we don't have a fucking A on democracy. We never had an A.
Yeah.
But on a good day, you could give us a B-. The government structures have held up very well. I will give the forefathers credit for that.
Okay.
You know, because right now, states' rights are what's saving us. Those guys that did all those killings in January, even though Trump is a piece of shit, if they get jailed in the state of Minnesota, they are going to stay in jail because the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, and whoever the Democrat is that's going to beat the Republican that's running, they're going to make sure that those people stay in jail. It's just like that one lady that tried to steal an election in Colorado.
Oh yeah,
they put her old ass in jail, and Trump is like holding, like saying, "Hey, Colorado, we're not going to do something for you unless you let her out of jail." And the governor there's just been like, "Yeah, fuck you. This old is guilty. She's staying her ass in jail." That's a positive thing right there. That's a states' right thing that's benefiting us at the moment. But like I said, it's at a D. It's not even a D. It's a D-. If Trump is removed, we could bump up to a D or a C-. That's that because there's just too many stupid people, man. And I'm not gonna placate MAGA and be like, oh, they're deplorables. Hillary Clinton was 100% right about that. When everybody was trying to say, oh, she shouldn't be calling these people deplorables, what else can you call these motherfuckers? They after January 6th, what else is appropriate? Because I remember when we did the election show in 2016 after Trump lost to Biden, me and you, Nate, and the people we were on the panel with, we were trying to be diplomatic and be like, oh, we got to listen to these people and stuff. As soon as January 6th hit, I was like, what the fuck was I smoking when I said that? What was my problem? Why did I say any of this kind of stuff? You know?
Right.
Because these people are bad and they're not good but when you can join a cult without ever having to go to a physical building, you know, and all joining a cult is without going to an actual headquarters is just the intake of information and not taking in anything else, you know.
Right.
You could be a a Beyonce fan and you could be a cult member. You could be a Jay-Z fan and be a cult member. You know, it's like just depending on like if you deify a celebrity so much to the point where they just can't do any wrong, or like if you were like I don't know. You guys remember how a lot of our people were when R. Kelly, those tapes came out, and there are a lot of us in the community that were still giving him the benefit of the doubt. It wasn't until the documentary came out where people start waking up to that. Yeah. But that kind of celebrity worship is dangerous. It's not good. It's in Donald Trump, these people like. And that's why they feel that like they with the Epstein files, and they're like, oh, I didn't do that. And idiots like Andrew Scholes with, I didn't vote for this. Yeah, you did with your fucking Hitler haircut and your Hitler mustache.
Talk about it.
And you're like, you voted for this dumbass. Like, you cannot be this stupid in 2020. You promoted. We just promoted it. He promoted it. Yeah,
he had him on the show.
A softball interview. They were laughing. They were giggling. He actively was like, he had these idiots on his little panel talking about how much they didn't like Kamala Harris. And I'm hearing this dude crying to Charlemagne. And Charlemagne's an idiot himself. The difference between Charlemagne and someone like a Candace Owens is I don't think Charlemagne, or even Envy for that, I don't think they're inherently evil, you know.
Whoa, Chris, that's a big step for you, Chris. I know you and Envy got beef on these streets.
I think they're stupid, you know, which is different. Which stupidity can could lead to evil. I think Envy, he made the mistake of listening to a crook on real estate, and give him real estate advice and thinking that made him a real estate expert.
Right.
When in actuality, to be good at real estate, you have to go through like hours of schooling and just learning about how the markets work when it comes to real estate, all that shit. You know, it's not an easy thing to do, you know?
Right.
I'm a good cook at home. I can't work in Wolfgang Puck's kitchen because the food that I cook is good for the audience of people at my house, you know?
Right.
It's not good for the masses. Like, and that's the thing with Charlemagne. Charlemagne is not. I think Charlemagne is I don't think he's actively evil, but I think he cares about his bag, and he's telling people bad stuff, you know. And I think he could be good if he tries to. Someone like a Candace Owens or Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're evil, and I don't think there's anything that can be done about it. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you can use her.
I was gonna say, cause sometimes you need an evil person to help you take down another evil person.
You can use that her brand of evil to your advantage. You just can't forget.
I seen the Avengers. Loki was down with them against Thanos. That's all I'm saying, cuz.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you can't forget he's Loki. You know?
Right.
Exactly.
With Marjorie Taylor Greene, you can work with her for as long as you need to. In the Justice League, they worked with Lex Luthor a few times. At the end of the day, he's still Lex Luthor, though. You know, you just have to remember that about him. You know,
just remember the scorpion is on your back, frog.
Right? Yeah. So I think that's the long version of we'll have free and fair elections, but we all have to be diligent, and we all have to understand politicians are not going to save us. We are going to save us.
Yes.
Don't fall in love with politicians. You vote for them to do a job.
They're not your friends.
Yeah, politics is about the science of the distribution of goods. Who gets what, when, and where, and how. That's what political science is. If you start overthinking it, like, oh, Kamala, I don't like her Gaza stance, then you're a dumbass. I hate to say it like that, but you are, because you're not. You're thinking about stuff that she has nothing to do with. You don't care about Kamala Harris's Gaza stance until she's in a position to be able to manipulate things. And especially when she was like, people were caring about this woman's Gaza stance when Donald Trump was actively saying, I want to turn the strip into a beach club resort or a strip mall and all this stuff. And you're like sweating. And that's the sad thing about being black, is nothing's ever good enough. Like even with this, I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant, but even with this Talrico, even with this James Talrico,
talk about it.
He was like, the journalist came out and said that he said to her that he thought he was going to be going up against intelligent black woman, not a mediocre black man. The journalist that said he said that is a journalist. I forget her name. I want to say it starts with. I've gotten into arguments with this woman. She was such a Talrico supporter that it got on my fucking nerves. Not because I don't like, even still, I don't dislike Talrico, but the fact, and he said I didn't say he was a mediocre black man. I said he ran a mediocre campaign. The fact that you can fix your lips to say anything about Colin Allred is mediocre is just problematic, in my opinion. This guy used to be an NFL player. He comes from a single mother household, and he made it to Congress based off of with little. There's nothing about him that's mediocre. His campaign, when he ran for Senate, he got more votes than Kamala Harris. He in the state of Texas, he was neck and neck with Trump. He barely lost to Ted Cruz. He did better than Beto O'Rourke. He did better than anybody else. The guy's not mediocre, you know. And again, I say all this to say that if Talrico wins, vote for him. Don't not vote for him. I'm just saying all that to say that when you're black, people expect you to just be magical and like all this other shit. All Colin Allred is he did his job and he did what he could, and at the end of the day, it's Texas. So yeah. So just be diligent in 2020 or 2026.
So to quote Chris's student so many years ago, when you go to the polls in November, remember, history has its eyes on you.
Right, yeah.
I had to lean back on that one, Ray. That's a good question, Doc.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take us to the silly lane, because just talking about Laugh Olympics brought to mind some of my favorite cartoons from back in the day. And you know, we all grown adults, but just because you a grown adult don't mean you can't have a little whimsy in your life every now and then. So my question to the group is, what cartoon from back in the day when you was a kid would you like to see, either like all the old episodes out where you could watch, or an updated version that you would still watch today? What cartoon would you like to see? And we can start with you on this one, Chris.
Yeah, so there's a few. Okay, so here's the thing. I watch all the old cartoons still. I find them on YouTube. I watch them on there's this app that I have where that shows all the stuff. I watch everything old. the thing is, some of those cartoons, as an adult, they're just unwatchable. Some of them, like, they're just not as good as they used to be. Like, I'll say, like, Batman the animated series holds up, X-Men holds up,
all that Justice League stuff is good.
Yeah, I'd even say He-Man and She-Ra holds up, even though they were commercials for the toys.
Yeah,
it still holds up. Some of this other shit, like Silverhawks, and it's okay.
Yo, Silverhawks is crazy though, because okay, look, it's one thing, Silverhawks, for you to get me to believe that in the future we got cybernetic cops basically out here, partly metal, partly real. They the Silverhawks, right? They protecting the universe. Okay, I can believe that. I can believe that you got this villain named Monstar, who is basically just Space Mum-Ra from the Thundercats, and he be transforming with the moonlight. I can believe that. But you go too far, Silverhawks cartoon, when you tell me that a man is flying a spaceship through the power of the electric guitar.
Right.
There was a cowboy character, Ray, on the Silverhawk that would fly and fight with a musical guitar, and ain't no sound in space.
Right.
You sing guitar.
Going too far, Silverhawks.
Yeah. So, but for my cartoon, that I would want to see, and this cartoon it's okay to watch back.
Okay.
Some of the episodes are on YouTube. It would be the Central Organization of Police Specialists, aka cops. With
fighting crime in a future time, Chris.
With the lead character being the police chief, Bulletproof.
Yes.
And the backstory on him,
Black police chief.
Yeah, he was he was like these crooks shot him in the chest and stuff, and he got a cybernetic chest or whatever, and it became bulletproof. And there was just so many cool people on that cartoon, like Long Arm and
Get it right?
Long Arm of the law. The guy that had the robot dog.
Yes.
I forget. Berserker was one of the bad guys. Big Boss was one of the
Nightshade.
Nightshade, yeah. It was such a good cartoon, and I would like to see like an updated version of that. And also, I've been dying to see like a movie version of Batman Beyond. I've been, because you could still get like I thought back in the day you could get Clint Eastwood to play Bruce Wayne, but Clint Eastwood's in his 90s now. But you could definitely get Michael Keaton to play old Bruce Wayne, you know.
He just did it in the damn Flash movie that nobody liked.
Right. And that movie was okay. It just wasn't great. And Ezra Miller, man, that dude, he just like any goodwill goodwill that movie would have had. I think if he wasn't attacked, if he didn't get involved in all that stuff, I think that movie would have people would have liked the movie a little bit better. He just, but I want to see that. I like to see Batman Beyond and Cops. Those are the number one and number two things I want to see.
Okay. Well, Chris, like, it's crazy that you brought up Cops, because I was like scrolling through some videos the other night on YouTube, and like a video popped up like the rise and fall of Cops, and I'm like, I think it was only on for like 2 seasons. What do you mean the rise and fall? But it turns out that the people that actually were behind Cops, two of the people were Alan Burnett and Bruce Timm.
Oh, okay.
The people that basically started Batman the animated series and the whole Justice League universe. They got their start on Cops, and they had like all these big plans for the show. But part of the reason it didn't work is the toys they made were too big to fit in, like, because back in the day you played with all like G.I. Joe's, Transformers, you all played with all your toys together. But the cops toys were too big to play in the other toys play sets. And parents were like, we ain't buying you no damn extra stuff.
I actually do remember that about those toys. They weren't the greatest. They even had, I had one of those long arm things, and it was just so clunky. And
the only thing that was cool about the cops toys was they had like the cap guns that you could fire.
Right, but it wasn't. And Bruce Timm, I didn't know he was the person that was one of the creators of that, the Timverse. And I like Bruce Timm. I didn't like him towards the later parts of. My issue with Bruce Timm is
here we go.
Like it's. I just think like I don't think you have to make Batman and Batgirl be dating and fucking.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Single thing, it's like if you want to tell that story once, that's fine, but like it was starting to get weird that he started doing it in everything. Because it's just weird because Bruce Wayne on those cartoons is like probably anywhere between 35 and 45 years old, and Barbara Gordon is like a college student, and it's just weird, and contrary to what people not 35-year-olds are not. I mean, like 45-year-olds are not just trying to date 20-year-olds like that. Right, I know there are some that are doing that, but I mean, like,
especially when she was dating your ward, your prodigy.
Yeah, it's just weird as fuck.
That's Dirty Mac and Batman.
But that's very Dirty Mac. But outside of that, it was Bruce Timm is great though. And shout out to Dwayne McDuffie too.
R.I.P. to Dwayne McDuffie. That whole squad that worked on those DC shows back in the day, everything they did. Static Shock was a killer. Batman Beyond was a killer. Superman was tight. Like they did their thing on those shows, man.
I even liked the Zeta Project. I thought that was cool.
It was alright.
I thought all that stuff was cool. I thought the Zeta Project, if it got another season, it would have been okay.
I think it was just kind of finding its footing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Especially when it comes to selling toys, it's either the kids are buying the toys or they're not. You don't get time. There's no finding your footing in animation, at least not back in those days. That's the thing with Cops, Chris, because the little video I was watching, there was like Cops, not only were the toys like not the greatest and they were too big, but they were coming out when G.I. Joe and Transformers was still out. Turtles was like the hottest toy in the game, and then so like that hurt the show. Then the other thing was the year after the cartoon came out, that's when Cops started on Fox. Right, and they got into a legal battle over the name Cops. Yeah, and that's why when it went to Saturday mornings, on CBS they changed the name to Cyber Cops.
Cops, right? To
separate it away from the Cops TV show. Bad Boys. Yeah.
It's not it's that's all. That's what
they tried. And the bad thing about it was, like Chris said, they changed the name of the cartoon, but they had already produced so many of these damn toys that all said Cops on them, and they couldn't change it.
I don't even know which one came first either.
The cartoon actually came first.
I think the cartoon came first.
But the thing that the video was saying was the TV show was so popular because it was like the first time like a show like that had been on.
It's the first reality show.
Yeah. And so it's like, even though the cartoon was first, everybody's like, nah, you ain't the real Cops.
Yeah. Right.
You some cyber cops.
Right. And my grandmother, her hour on Sundays were Cops and America's Most Wanted. Back. I got a quick trivia note on America's Most Wanted.
Okay.
I had a friend in like 2005-ish, I want to say,
Mhm.
who was playing, who played in one of the sketches on
Oh, yeah.
America's Most Wanted of
Korean.
the criminal doing stuff. And some woman saw this fool,
No.
and she saw on America's Most Wanted and called the police on him.
Damn.
And he got arrested while I was with him.
Wow.
Lunch in North Hollywood, and I explained to the cops, I was like, he was the actor on that episode of America's Most Wanted. He's not a criminal.
He's not the actual dude.
We got held up
Wow.
for 90 minutes
Damn.
trying to convince this dude that this guy wasn't a cop, because that lady, we were eating outside at one of those places. She just kept staring at us. And I was like, what the
I think
fuck?
it's him.
That's right.
And you knew she was giving me Sandra Bullock from Crash vibes. Like,
Oh no.
why is this lady staring the fuck at us, you know? And then the cops come, and then she leaves, and they come and arrest my friend, and they ask him if he's such and such. And he's like, oh, nah, I was playing him on an episode of America's Most Wanted. And
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
Now,
yeah.
the crazy thing is that this lady apparently thought America's Most Wanted was showing real footage of these crimes as they happen.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, like after every reenactment, they put the real picture of the real victim.
I know, that's the thing. I think what happens is you're watching this stuff and it's just confusing for people, you know.
Oh my goodness.
I think it just confuses people.
Plus, we all look alike, Ray.
Right? Yeah.
Your boy should have got a bunch of roles out of that. He played that role, boy. He played it so well.
And that Ray, that was the last time Chris had lunch with Simon Williams.
No, that friend. Hopefully, I could get him on the show to talk about that. He isn't an acting anymore, though. He became a kinesiology teacher, and he was teaching health.
Okay. He was like, "This is a lot safer than acting, kids."
Right? Yeah. He makes decent money as a health teacher and all that.
Nice.
But I think that scared him off acting.
I bet, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. Ray Williams. I know you watched a lot of cartoons back in your days as a youth. What cartoon would you like to see either brought back, streaming in some format, or revived?
All right, well, real quick, I used to be big into America's Most Wanted. Like, I don't know why we always had Saturday nights, boy. America's Most Wanted was always on. Like,
Saturday nights. I said Sunday nights, but Saturday.
Sunday. I think it might have been either one.
No, because what happened is it used to be Saturday nights, and then they switched them both to an hour. So Cops got Saturday night, and America's Most Wanted got Sunday nights.
Yeah, my grandmother used to watch that block like all the time.
Yeah.
But as far as cartoons, I got like 2 honorable mentions, and then I got 1 lock. For it. So my honorable mentions, there was this one show called Reboot. And Enzo.
And
So
the glitch thing he had,
So I never paid, as a kid, I never paid real attention. The only reason I would like either all the episodes to be together or to have a reboot of Reboot is I just want to understand the plot a little bit more, because like my kid mind, I'm like,
oh yeah, I love that show.
Getting on, dog.
Yeah.
So but I would like to get a better appreciation of the show if I watch it, either all the episodes, if I watch Like,
and then the main guy on that show, I forget his name. The kid's name was Enzo. The guy's name, I just remember he had like these like electrical weird like dreadlock thingies in his hair. It looked so cool. That was, and then he had this like this thing that he would call glitch, and he'd be like glitch something, and it would turn into that. It was like a really, really like fun cartoon. That was probably like my last year of watching cartoons as a kid. Because when I got older, I wasn't into cartoons as much, but there were certain things I still watched, you know.
Gotcha. So I would like for that show to come back. And then another show that I watched a little bit of when it came on Saturdays. I think it was ABC. But I would just, because I kind of enjoy like the slice of life, like cartoons where you just had just a regular kid going to like a Doug. Ooh, I didn't even think of Doug. Doug.
Oh, yeah. What, the Disney Doug or the Nickelodeon Doug?
Yeah, they were different.
Nickelodeon Doug for sure. Yeah,
Disney Doug sold out
a little bit. Yeah.
I hated the fucking Disney Doug, man. I tried with it. it just didn't hit the same way.
No.
But I think the guy that used to own it, I don't know if it was Propaganda or something. They own it again. They got it back from Disney. So.
Yeah, I'd like to see. Yeah, Doug. I'll still keep Doug. I'll still keep that as an honorable mention. Now that I mentioned it. But yeah, definitely Doug. And then my third honorable mention would be this show called Parey.
Oh yeah. That was after my time, but I remember that a little bit. Yeah, my brother used to watch Recess and that one too.
Oh, see, now you took my headliner. You took my headline. Recess.
Yeah.
Oh, I would watch that show even in my 20s. I was watching that show on the Disney Channel. Like I used to love Recess. I would love to see a reboot or a reimagining of Recess, or I'm sure it's on like Disney Plus. I might have to go through there and watch Recess through over. But yeah, that is my lock. I would love to see Recess, and then Doug reboot and Pepperan would be my honorable mentions. But what about you, Nick?
Solid choices, Ray. Well, I asked the damn question, Ray.
Indeed.
So I got a couple, man. You know, I love cartoons back in the day, man. Chris already mentioned Silverhawks, which was basically Thundercats in space with a man with a guitar for some reason.
And that's the thing too. Like, all of those Silverhawks, Thundercats shows that came on with that, they were just the same fucking cartoon. Yeah.
Yes. The only thing I think that Silverhawks did better than Thundercats, because Thundercats would have like a little lesson of the show at the end of every episode, either told by Snarf or Wily Cat or Wily Kid. Silverhawks had the little mime boy, like he couldn't really talk. He talked in like, and everybody could understand him. But he would like do like little science trivia, Ray. Like, what's this planet made out of, or what's this star called? And like, if the person, usually it was the cowboy that was guessing with him. If the cowboy got it right, he'd be like, meow. If the cowboy got it wrong, he'd be like,
oh.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
But yeah, that Silverhawks, Thundercats, all that was cool. There used to be this show back in the day when they were trying to market to an urban audience called Street Frogs. It was like, who can do hip hop better than a frog can? Street Frogs. Like,
no.
I don't want to watch. I'm black and I don't want to watch these rapping ass frogs.
Who asked for that?
Nobody asked for that. There was a lot of similar cartoons back in the day, and you had to pick a side, Ray. GoBots or Transformers. You know what I'm saying?
And GoBots actually came before Transformers.
They did. Like another show Another show, yeah, Cops and Cops. Garfield and Heathcliff.
Oh yeah.
Heathcliff was like the hood Garfield.
Right.
Garfield was living in the middle, kind of like a middle income neighborhood with John. He was always fed. Heathcliff had to dig in the garbage and eat fish.
Get it from the mud.
Came up from the mud. Heathcliff.
Out the mud.
Yeah. Okay. So, like with Heathcliff, the first iteration of Heathcliff, I did not like that much because it was called the Heathcliff and Marmaduke Hour.
Yeah, ain't nobody here to see Marmaduke.
Yeah, and it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But when it turned into Heathcliff,
yes,
and then the first half of the cartoon was Heathcliff doing his bullshit, fucking with that dog, beating his ass all the time. And then the second half was the Cadillac Cats.
Yes, with Riff Raff and them.
Riff Raff, Mongo, Wordsworth, and I forget.
Look, Ray, you don't know nothing about this, Ray. So Heathcliff, we already established Heathcliff got it out the mud, right? Heathcliff was a real G. But the Cadillac kids, as Chris is saying, they was even more in the mud than Heathcliff.
Right, yeah.
They was living in a Cadillac in a junkyard.
Right, and Heathcliff's girlfriend was just she wasn't nothing. Riff Raff's girlfriend Cleo was that chick. She was that she was that cat. She wore like the 80s like
the leg warmers
and shit. And she was like, and Riff Raff was like, it was almost kind of like as close to a pimp cartoon character as he could. Because Riff Raff wasn't like Heathcliff. Riff Raff wasn't getting into fights with Riff Raff, if he was going to fight you, he was going to get someone else to do it.
Yeah.
He would outsmart you. He had his Cadillac. He had his woman. He had his boys. His boys would sometimes show up in Heathcliff's area.
Yeah.
He would never show up with Heathcliff except at the end credits where Heathcliff has his hat and he takes it back from him.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
They were aware of each other, Ray.
Yeah, they were aware of each other's existence, but yeah. His underlings would interact with Heathcliff every once in a while. But he never had any interaction with Heathcliff. I remember that. Yeah.
In my head canon, Ray, they was cousins. And
they had to be something because they did. Like they didn't look like brothers, but you could tell there was like maybe
it was cousin brothers,
first or second cousin, cousin brothers like Tito and not Tito. Sorry for R.I.P. Tito. Sorry for ruining your game. But like
Jermaine.
Yeah,
Jermaine's kids. Yeah,
Jermaine and Randy. And by the way, real quick, just to piggyback off that real quick. Cam Newton and Peggy, we see what you did there when you picked up on I think he was talking about was it Chris? No, it was another like European soccer player, like a Brazilian soccer player who after divorcing his wife married like his wife's daughter or something like that. And then that led to a discussion. Cam brought up the cousin brothers of the Jackson 5 and was like, Cam, I wonder that could.
Where did you learn that from, Cam Newton?
Cam, we might have a watcher of the NWA that we didn't realize.
Someone got a hold of that clip. Those fools always do that shit with our shit.
I was saying a lot of people look at our stuff but don't give us credit, man.
Yeah.
But I will give credit though to two cartoons. One is a recent cartoon that I actually started watching when I was an adult, and I loved it, and I wish they would have just kept making it forever. And that's from the Cartoon Network, Regular Show.
Oh yeah.
Regular Show was cool as hell because it was like when my nieces would come over for the summer. A lot of times, if it was too hot to go outside and play, we just watch TV and order pizza or whatever. And of course, they watch a Cartoon Network, so you got 3-hour marathons of like Gumball, which was all right. Teen Titans Go, it's all right. But then regular show would come on. I'm like, yo, this regular show kind of hot though. Because it's a cartoon and they do all this crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just Mortimer and Bigby, or Rigby and Mortimer.
Mordecai and
Rigby. They just two regular ass dudes that work for a job. And they drink soda all the time when they get off work. They drink soda when they get off work, and they have adventures with their friends who hate their jobs too. And I'm like, regular show is for regular niggas, man.
That for real.
Regular show,
right?
And like you could tell it was made by people that grew up in the '80s because of the music choices and stuff, and some of the crazy references they make. So yeah, I love regular show, man. I wish they would still make it to this day. Breaking the Creek was pretty good too, man.
I used to have regular show back when they had before Netflix blew up with the streaming. I used to have like regular show on DVD, like season 1, season 2.
I just imagine Ray at the crib like, what?
Yeah. Like there were these 2000s cartoons that I used to love. I don't know if y'all remember like Iron Man Armored Adventures, where he was like Iron Man in high school. Superhero Squad, which was with the Marvel characters.
Yeah.
There was the Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go, not that one.
There's a different
the Teen Titans in the 2000s. Man, that cartoon was so awesome.
I heard.
It was just, but back in those 2000s, I can't really sleep on a lot of those cartoons from back then. Then there was an MTV Spider-Man that was cool.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
But my show is from the 2000s. My other show, other than regular show, that I want to bring back, and we talked about it a little bit, Chris. Justice League / Justice League Unlimited, man.
Right. Yeah.
To me, that's like not even just superhero cartoons. To me, it's one of the best American cartoons ever, Ray. Like I put it up there with like the Boondocks. I put it up there with like the Simpsons. I put it up there with like the Venture Brothers, man, from Adult Swim. Like Justice League Unlimited, man, for what they were able to do on Fox Kids and then on the Cartoon Network, like they did the damn thing, man. Like some of the best characterizations of some of these heroes and villains that you've ever seen in any medium. So yeah, shout out to Bruce Timm, Dwayne McDuffie, Ross Tucker, the whole Alan Burnett, the whole crew.
Andrea Romano, the voice.
Andrea Romano, the GOAT. One of the greatest voice casters in the game. And see, Chris got stories all the time, Ray. I'm going to tell my story.
Oh, go ahead, bro.
So one time on these Twitter streets, maybe about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was like trying to expand my voice acting, that I do on the side. Okay. And I seen somebody like link Andrea Romano in a Justice League tweet. I'm like, yo, I didn't know Andrea Romano was on these Twitter streets. And had I read the thread a little bit more, I would not have made the mistake that I made. But I tweeted, I may have been having a couple sodas that night.
Sodas.
And I tweeted Andrea Romano. I was like, hey, man, big fan of yours. And, I'm an up-and-coming voice actor. I'm aspiring. Any tips? I was on my Simon Williams, right? And she wrote back. And to be fair, she probably wasn't directing this directly at me, but it was just kind of all the people that had tweeted her from the first tweet. She was like, how many times do I have to tell you I'm not that Andrea Romano? I'm just a regular person named Andrea Romano. And I went back to the original thread. Well, here's the thing. I went back to the original thread afterwards, Chris, because in the moment, I'm thinking, what? Now I'm beefing with Andrea Romano. I don't know which Andrea Romano, but I'm beefing with Andrea Romano. So what I should have did, Chris, in that moment was go back, read the original thread, and be like, "Oh, my bad," because whoever tagged her originally put her, tagged the wrong Andrea Romano, who ain't even on Twitter. I should have been like, oh, my bad. Hey, I'm sorry all these people are getting at you. I hope you're having a great night. That's what I should have done, right?
Right.
What I did
Uh-oh.
I wrote back to the lady, man, because, you know, so like I said, man, I had me 3, 4, 5 sodas, something like that.
Once those sodas hit you, boy.
The combination gets you, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I wrote back because she was like, I'm not that Andrea Romano. I wish you people would just fucking stop hitting me up or something, however she phrased it. And I was like, I think I said something to the effect of, don't get mad because you're not who we think you are. You just somebody that don't matter. And like I said, Ray, had I had some time to think about it, I wouldn't have said that to that lady, man. She ain't deserved that. But I was in my feelings, Chris. And so I think she said something back to me, but I'd already muted her by then. So I was like, you don't matter. So if you are watching Random Andrea Romano, I just want to say I'm sorry. I have grown from that moment. I've become a better person, and I hope that you have a wonderful night, Andrea Romano.
Shout out to all the Andrea Romano.
Shout out to all the Romanos. Ray, Andrea, this other Andrea, all of them. The cheese.
Christy Romano.
Oh yeah. Oh, Christy Carlson Romano. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the homegirl. I think she lives in Austin, Texas now. The one from
yes, she does.
The one that was on that Shia LaBeouf show, right?
Yes. Even
she's cool people. Yeah, she's cool people.
Hopefully she on both with Greg Adams.
I've met her once or twice, and because I think she used to live in Orange County too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing about Wonder Man. Thank you for saying Orange County, Chris, because if you remember that show, the OC from back in the day.
Yeah.
They had that theme song by Phantom Planet. California, here we come, right back where we started from. California. I know Ray old emo kid Ray used to love that shit.
Boy.
That single went triple platinum in the Ray household.
That was the jam.
His mom, you don't understand how it's hard living in the OC. California, here we come. But in Wonder Man, like, it's a good song. I ain't gonna front. It's a good song. But the way they use Wonder Man, the way they use that song in episode 8 of Wonder Man, it's excellent. It's an excellent needle drop. So that's another reason to watch Wonder Man, because they paid Phantom Planet for that song.
Nice.
But we ain't here to talk about emo, Ray. We're here to get Ray's questions so we can go home. We all at our home, so we can let the people go home. Ray, what is your question for the group?
All right. Well, it's funny you bring up emo, brother, because I just had a recent experience, and I'll get into it once it's time for me to answer my own question. But
with Andrea Romano?
Not with Andrea Romano. And that brings up another thing as far as like mistaken identities, when it's another man named John Jones on Twitter, and he puts it in his bio, I'm not the fighter. But he just keeps, if people get him mixed up, he'll just respond to him and be like, well, he seems like a great fighter. It seems like his stand-up's good, but it's not me. Like, but he's cool with the response. So shout out to you, John Jones, not Bones. John, not Bones Jones. All right.
That John Jones could pass a drug test.
Exactly. Probably use him. But hey, I mean, John Bones Jones, if you don't want to worry about a drug test, go ahead and join ICE, from the reports that I'm hearing from that one reporter. But anyway,
he's boys with Trump, apparently.
He is.
Dapping each other up at that one UFC match.
Yeah, he might get a shot to fight on the White House card.
You're one of the good ones, Johnny. I always say you're one of the good ones.
I don't think Trump can go to a UFC event that's not at the White House. I think that's the only. I think if he goes to a regular UFC event today, I think a lot of those manosphere dudes that were married to those Epstein files, it would be a mixed reaction. It wouldn't be the cheers that he used to get.
That is true.
That'd be interesting.
Well,
I want to see. I kind of want to see it too.
All right. Well, getting back on topic. So you mentioned emo, brother. So what is one piece of media that unexpectedly made you have the feels? Like if there's a piece of music or a piece of cinema that wouldn't otherwise have caught you slipping, but maybe at a particular moment it made you catch the feels. It made you feel a little something. It hit a little deeper than you realized it would hit.
Okay, that's a good question, Ray.
Thank you.
I'll go first, because here's the thing, Ray. I am somebody who is secure in my emotions, brother.
Gotcha.
As a black man, I feel we need to be more expressive
Speak
with our emotions, our joy, our anger, our tears, our sorrow.
Don't bottle.
We need to be more expressive with all this.
Indeed.
But there are certain shows that can bring it out of me in moments when I didn't expect it to be brought out of me. And I will say, to kind of continue the theme, because Wonder Man did get me emotional at a couple points, right? But I'm not going to say Wonder Man. I'm going to say it's another scene from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, okay.
It's in Avengers Endgame. One of the big moments in Avengers Endgame, Chris, that a lot of people, it's kind of controversial, is how people thought about Fat Thor or Thick Thor.
Oh, yeah.
And Chris Hemsworth. And some people took him as a joke. Some people took him as, you making fun of people by doing a character like this, I took it as as realistic as you can be in a superhero movie when you portraying the Norse god from mythology. Like a realistic portrayal of kind of the physical manifestations of a guy going through depression.
Right.
Like he don't give a damn. He drinking all the sodas, Ray. He eating all the pizzas, Ray. His house is just like, he got Thanos, spoiler alert if you ain't seen Endgame, but he got Thanos' head just like rotting in the corner. Like, you got some problems, my boy. But the moment that gets me every time, Ray, is when they have to go back in time to all these different parts in the Marvel Universe to pick up the Infinity Stones. And he goes back to Thor 2, The Dark World, one of the most maligned of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. And him and Rocket Raccoon got to go and steal the ether that is in Jane Foster. And they got to do it without being seen by anybody that was there at the time. And it's the scene, Chris, where Thor is just like kind of chilling and he sees his mom and he's like, oh, she ain't supposed to see me. Let me go around the corner so she don't see me. And so he tiptoes around the column and then she right there. She like, who are you? I know my son when I see him. And then she's like, but what's happened to you? And he tried not to tell her what's going on. And he's like, I'm totally from the future, because he can't hold it in. And so they Rocket finally gets the ether from Jane. All the Asgardians are chasing him. And so he's like, come on, Thor, we gotta go. And then he's trying to tell his mom that, hey, you about to die. He turned into Whoopi Goldberg from Ghost, Chris. He like, girl, you in danger. And she like, nah, I don't need to hear about none of this. What's happened has happened. You need to go live your life and be happy. And then the whole movie, he ain't been able to get the hammer, Chris. He ain't been able to summon Mjolnir because he don't feel like he worthy. And so they get ready to leave. And he like, hold on, Rocket, hold on, dog. He throw his hand out the window. And Rocket's like, what are you doing, man? And then his mom was like, hey, it take a little while. Just give him some time. And then all of a sudden, here come the hammer. He grabbed the hammer. Yeah. He just look at it. He like, dog, I'm still worthy. I'm still worthy. And then they start playing the Come and Get Your Love in the background. And he's like, bye, mom. And then he just disappears, man. And I'm like, that's some real, it's all in this trappings of fiction, Chris. But that is a real moment for somebody that's battled depression like I have and gone through that season of feeling like whatever you do, you're not worthy of love or acceptance or success or happiness. And it's like, as soon as he got that hammer, and he was like, dog, I'm still me, even if I'm 100 pounds more me than I was in the last movie. And I was like, man, every time that get me, I get choked up, Chris.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can see that. Yeah. That is a good touching part of that movie too.
Okay, what about you, Chris?
Thor.
So for me, it's like I've got so many things like that, or just a song, or you know, whatever. Like when I hear All That She Wants, that means I gotta give it one of my chicks another baby and all that. No, I'm joking. No, seriously though, for me, it's gonna be so the third season of Martin.
Okay.
It hit a little bit different for me when I graduated from grad school in like 2012. Right before you started doing we started doing the Kings of Sports stuff, Nate. It was like I didn't have a job anymore. And I was like trying to find jobs that I was qualified for. I was applying to every single TV station, every single college, every single university, all that stuff. And that's just, I wasn't having experience. I applied for the ABC affiliate, the NBC affiliate, the CB, everything I applied for. Some of these places I was an intern at, and I thought I was gonna just have it in, and I was gonna get the job. Around this time, I was watching Martin on TV1, I think is what it was coming on at the time, and it was the third season, and the radio station just closed down, and Martin doesn't have a job. You know, he's looking all over the fucking place for a job. And, you know, he proposes to Gina, and Gina's like gonna give him, he needs money. She's about to give him back the ring, and she doesn't look happy about doing it. And he's like, first he's like happy about getting the ring back, and then he's like, nah, I can't do that shit. So then he moves to a monastery. It has the weird twisties in his hair. And he starts saying weird shit like, the man who sleeps on the floor never has to worry about falling out of bed. And Cole is dumb, so he's just like listening to his shit. Of course. Tommy hears another. He's like, "Give me your damn hair turned on you," and just and he's going like during this whole period, he's like looking for jobs. He's like goes like he goes to the unemployment office. And he's like, people might recognize me from the radio station talking to Myra. He's like, what's up? And he says, like, what's up, thing? And then the angry man's like, man, sit your ass down. Yeah, angry man. he does the thing, but then he gets the job at the Hoochie Burger. He's like, I'm never. He gets the job at the Hoochie Burger, and he's just like depressed and hating life. I don't know if this is the same episode or a later episode, but him and Brahman are about to sell these Whitney Houston shirts. Whitney Hutton. And
Brahman can't spell, Tina.
And it's super funny. Yeah. But I can relate to the struggle of being accomplished and just not able to find a job, you know. And it was just like, so then he finally gets the job working, being an associate producer at Road on the Street, which basically is a gopher, and you're doing this stuff. Eventually the guy that's hosting the talk show, the Love Doctor, he is getting arrested for some shit at the beginning of the episodes, and he gets the chance to be the Love Doctor, and that starts a fruitful career working as a talk show host on Word of the Street that takes him into the last episode where they move to LA. And I love the show Martin. but it's flawed because of that last season. Even though the episodes were funny, him and Tisha Campbell not being able to work their shit out or whatever the hell was going on with them, it does ruin those episodes. Even though it's still funny, it's just the fact that they couldn't even appear on camera together in the last episode is like really hard to watch. It's good to see the reunion show.
The reunion was good.
You can't even give that an A because they don't have Sean on it or they don't have Garrett Morris on that. Which I don't understand. Garrett Morris is somebody I actually know. I haven't seen him in some years, so I haven't seen him since he entered his late 80s. But I mean, the dude is but yeah, that messes up the show. But that whole struggle, that work struggle, was just so fucking real for me, man. And there's other shows like that too, where it's like I'm going like it's like if it's a breakup I can relate to, or something like that. And the good thing about the Martin show, the difference between Martin and me is that, and me and my ex have made cool, so I don't want to bash her too much, is Gina stuck with Martin through the thick and the thin. My ex was when my ex was a rider, she was a rider. She was a good woman. But when I start going through my shit,
she's like, get to stepping.
Yeah, she in her defense, I don't think I made it easy for her because I was just so depressed, it's just like hard to kind of concentrate. But like the difference between my ex and my wife is if I go through something like that with my wife, even when she was my girlfriend, she would come up with plans to help me get better. My ex, that just wasn't something she was ready for. And I also want to say this before, that's the thing too. It's not a girlfriend's job to complete you and all that shit. It's like they've gotta, if they don't sign up for that, that's not a them problem. That's more of a compatibility problem. Because back in the day, I used to be bitter at that. And sometimes I'm still a little angry, but not the way I used to be. Now I'm kind of like, everything worked out the way it was supposed to work out.
That's a good point. And before we go to you, Ray Williams, Chris just hit on something that brought up another emotional piece of media to my mind. It's a song that I don't even like, but there was this thing back in the 80s and 90s, sometimes even into the early 2000s, when a song was so connected with the movie and they put the movie quotes in like the remix of the song on the radio. Like they did it with Titanic. They did it with a couple other songs. But this one song, Chris, I ain't never liked the song as a regular song, but I love the movie it was associated with. And when they put the movie quotes in the song, got me every time, dog. That's that damn Bruce Springsteen joint from Jerry Maguire.
Oh, yeah.
Cheerleading bring you heart. Cheerleading bring you home. That was garden. And that's the part of the song I ain't even messing with. But then when they bring in your girl, Renee Zellweger, it's like, don't lie to me, Jerry. You tell me, Jerry, what's going on? And then Tom Cruise, I just want you to know you complete me. I'm like, Bruce.
That movie, let me tell you something about Jerry Maguire.
Talk to him, Chris. You was the original Rod Tidwell.
Yeah, that used to be my go-to Netflix and chill movie.
That's a good one. That's a good one, dog.
Because every time you would show that movie to a woman, especially a black woman, between Cuba Gooding Jr. and Regina King.
Yeah.
They were just like every woman that I saw that movie with back in the day. That was like
we saw a lot of Secret Gardens.
yeah. That movie worked on so many levels, yo.
You had them at hello.
Yeah.
That's a great movie, man. Jerry Maguire.
Yeah. That was and Cuba Gooding deserved the Oscar for that. I do hate when people like rewrite history.
No, you said it right the first time, Chris.
Yeah, because Cuba Gooding, he was the man in that movie. To me, he was the only sure thing at the '97 Oscars that year. Because I also thought that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon had a decent chance at winning the Oscar, but because they were so young, I didn't know if the Academy was going to respect them and give him that award, but they got it. Now I was happy for Matt and Ben, and Cuba Gooding, and Ben Affleck is an awesome actor too. I don't like the Ben back in the 2000s. I was always defending Ben Affleck just because motherfuckers was hating on him because they didn't like the J-Lo relationship.
I said the Geely movie wasn't good.
The Geely movie wasn't good. Jersey Girl had its moments.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but it
was good in what was the other Kevin Smith he did? He did
Dogma.
Was it Mallrats? No, Dogma.
Mallrats was good too, but Dogma was good.
Dogma was good, boy.
Yeah, because when he realized that he was an angel.
Yeah.
He was the good guy first, and Matt Damon was the one dicking around. And then when he realized he was never going to be as important to God as the humans, he just lost his fucking mind,
Yep. And but God was Alanis Morissette, right?
Yeah, she was Jesus. She was Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. That movie is good. I think and that's what that movie is what led to Kevin Smith meeting Prince, because Prince was on his Jehovah's Witness thing during that time.
Yeah.
I didn't appreciate it at the time. I did have Prince try to Jehovah's Witness to me.
Another story.
He can't keep getting away with this, right?
Back in the 2000s, I did. Yeah. And he wasn't necessarily trying to Jehovah's Witness to me. He just
like, walked up to Chris and dearly beloved.
Yeah, it was at
we need to talk.
It was at one of the like Hard Rock cafes or one of those things out here. It could have been the Whiskey. I don't know.
Okay.
But he was performing. It was a surprise performance that night.
That's cool.
And he was walking around to tables, and he sat at our table for a second. And I was like, "Oh, cool, Prince. We cool." Didn't want to take any pictures, so didn't get a Prince picture. And he start boring the hell out of me with the Jehovah's Witness Watchtower shit.
Here's the thing, Chris. Here's the thing. This is how I know you and I, we are very similar in some aspects, but we are very different in others. Because even if I'm not believing what Prince is saying, I think by the time that conversation is over, I'm like, so what time is service, Mr. Prince?
No, that's the thing. I was like, I was listening to it. Felt like the homegirl said it wasn't that long. It felt like about 45 minutes.
Damn.
Will you serve pancakes after service, brother?
Right. Yeah. I was like, something, but it wasn't super long. But then once he passed away, I was like, man, I was a part of a really cool moment,
Yeah.
That's I do wish that he was letting us take pictures,
That's crazy. So not only have we had a host on this network almost get trapped into the Allison Mack Nexium cult, shout out to OG Rachel, but we've also had a host on this network almost become a Jehovah's Witness from talking to Prince Rogers.
I know, right? Yeah.
Chris, you have to go crazy, Chris.
He looking at Prince like, would you
when
look
he was
at the
when
time?
he did that, I was because I didn't leave the church until 2017. So
Okay.
But I was on my way out the door when that happened. That was like
And
about.
Prince was the one that pushed you all the way out. You was like,
No,
nah, I
he
can't do this.
didn't push me all the way out. It was like in 04, 05. It's just kind of like when you meet Prince, you're hoping that you're like, oh, you're hoping you'll hear stories about how he wrote Raspberry Beret,
Right.
what it was like working on the Batman soundtrack and shit like that.
Right.
You're not
Doing Purple
thinking you're
Rain.
gonna be hearing Watchtower fuckery, you know.
Prince just leads Chris into this back room with the Whiskey a Go-Go, and it's just like Sheila E., Morris Day, the time. They're all just there reading the Watchtower. Welcome, Chris.
Yeah. But if I meet Morris Day, I'm definitely gonna sneak a picture. I don't know. It felt like because this was before camera phones were a thing and stuff too. But we did, like, my friend did have a camera phone, and when he said no pictures, I was almost afraid he was gonna like kick our ass or something if we did. So I was like, yeah, we probably better not. And I'm not even talking about his bodyguards, because he did have bodyguards there.
Right.
I was afraid of him beating us up.
Yes,
man.
that brother was agile.
Yeah. I was like, yeah,
in heels, like Chris, you got your ass whooped by Prince in heels now.
Yeah.
Shout out to
like
Minnesota.
one minute he was talking about my salvation, the next minute all I saw was a size 15 boot come to my face. Like,
laying hands and heels.
Ray, before the end of the year, I'm giving you a stretch project.
Oh, here we go.
We need to create a supercut of all of Chris's, call it like Chris's true Hollywood stories. All of his interactions with Prince and Ron Jeremy and Bud Bundy and all these people, man. Because this is you have to see it to believe it and hear it to believe it.
Bud Bundy was definitely at the whiskey too. Bud Bundy was 100% at the whiskey. That was me trying to sneak into his teen club. Well, I'm not trying to sneak into it. I did sneak into it.
He's like, I did it.
Yeah.
What you gonna do, Bud Bundy?
Yeah, they weren't doing it.
But is Bud Bundy MAGA now?
Is he?
I don't
know. I don't know. I know that what's her name? Christina Applegate. She is not MAGA.
Okay, Christina Applegate, you gotta put me on.
Christina Applegate is a MS warrior. I interact with her.
That's cool.
Yeah. So me and her are like, we're not besties, but you know.
But she know you.
Yeah, she knows me. I hit her. I don't know if she's still on the gram or not, but I would, and her and Jamie Lynn, not Descala anymore, Siegler. Yeah, but they had a MS like talk show or whatever back in the day. So
I heard it.
And I called into it once or twice. So yeah, but yeah, I know that Al Bundy is in a MAGA, and I know Christina Applegate is in MAGA. I don't know if David Faustino.
Pretty sure Peggy Bundy's not.
Nah, I don't think she is either. Yeah.
So
dang, man.
We're waiting on you, Bud Bundy. You got 12 hours to respond, cuz.
Yeah. I wonder if he even remembers those Whiskey a Go-Go days.
Man,
it was real popular back in the day. Like, because the only reason why I wanted to go was this was right before I moved to Knoxville, because I moved to Knoxville at the end of 6th grade year, you know. And this was one of the last things I did was go to the Whiskey a Go-Go, and we were like, and it was a few of us, and I was like, the worst they could do is tell us we can't come in. But they weren't serving alcohol or nothing. It was just regular kid stuff. I'm sure some of the fucking teens were doing drugs and all that shit. You know? But yeah.
And that's how Chris first met Simon Williams.
Yeah, that was the first time I saw Soleil Moon Fry in person.
Funky Brewster.
Yeah. And 5th grade me was trying to get in where I could fit in.
Let me holler at you.
And she wasn't close. And then I came full circle in 2005 when I met Cherry Johnson, and she turned me down. She was nice about it. she let me know it wasn't gonna happen. Like, yeah, that ain't happening, bruh.
Take notes on all of this, Ray. By the end of the year, that'll be our Christmas present to the audience. The life and times of Chris Ely, the true Hollywood stories. Super cut.
Diana Taurasi interview, Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh series we got to bring out podcast.
And true Hollywood stories. All right. I got my list.
Oh, it'd be great. Like I seen like a lot of people do this with AI now. I don't know how much I want to get involved with AI, but like animating their stories, like just animated versions of Chris trying to be converted by Prince. So that'd be a beautiful story for the people.
Right.
Have you heard about your Lord and Savior Jehovah, Chris? And Chris is like, what do I have to do to be a Jehovah's Witness, Prince? That's not a good Chris impression. But then Prince is like, well, first of all, Chris, you must purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Anyway, go ahead, Chris.
In his defense, he didn't come out and start the
that wasn't how he started the conversation.
Yeah, he didn't start it with that, but he did ask about our salvation, and he started talking about the Watchtower and stuff like that, and that really happened, yo.
So you like to read, Chris? I've got something you should read.
Yeah. And this is not a diss to Jehovah's Witnesses.
No,
I didn't give a fuck. Whatever religion he was trying to fling that night wasn't something I was trying to hear. It's what it is, you know.
Gotcha.
That's Ray. We doing this, Ray, or you're doing this, but we as a team are doing this at some point by the end of the year. But Ray Williams, you asked the damn question about 20 minutes ago. What's your answer?
All right. So there's no way I'm topping anything that Chris just said, but I'll just go ahead and spell it. So I brought up the question because something recently happened with me, and like Chris mentioned, there are like songs in the past that have kind of like elicited emotions from me, or like media in the past. But recently it was definitely in a place where I did not expect it at all. So I'm just watching YouTube and I see GCW has a free show on YouTube, right? Game Changer Wrestling. And so I guess they were doing a charity show in partnership with Jersey Championship Wrestling. I think it was called Super Power Slam. And they were doing a charity show for free, and they were doing like auctions and stuff at the venue. So just like in the middle of the show and then getting through their matches, and Effie had just wrestled Billy Starks, and Billy Starks beat Effie, I believe, for like the Jersey champion, the JCW championship, not Juggalo, but Jersey. And then they go into the hype video or the promo video for the next match, which would be for the GCW championship. And then they start playing this song. It's like, ooh, this song is good. And it's like a metalcore song. So it's like screamo. It's like it starts with a little piece of the chorus, but then it goes into like screamo, and then like throughout the package, it plays like the first verse, and it goes into the first chorus at the end. And I'm like, man, like the first chorus, when they hit that chorus and they start showing like the highlights of like the champion and the challenger, I'm like, oh, I'm hyped up now. I need to Shazam this song. So I Shazam the song. No shout out to Zachary Levi, but I Shazam this song. And it turns out being this band from like Germany, right? And so I listened to the full song.
Okay.
And like again, it like leads into like the verse has like a softer part to it, and then it goes into the chorus and it starts getting harder with the chorus. But the lyrics, bro, let me pull up these lyrics for you.
You telling me you did this German industrial song that got you in your feelings, Ray Williams?
Man, listen, that's not even.
Dude, Hostin got you feeling some type of way, Ray?
The band is called Our Mirage, and the song is called Time Loss. And this is just the chorus, y'all. So, what if I'm the one left breathing when the ones I love stop being? Who will catch me when I fall if there's no one left at all? Fading into time loss. I'm like, oh my God. I never cried and headbanged at the same time. I'm like, what is going on with my body? And that's just the chorus. And then the rest of the song, it has like lyrics of like, I don't want to lose the ones that I love, and I'm holding them tightly, but I'm scared to see them reach for the light. I'm like, what? Like, man, when I tell you, like, I listened to that song at least 20 times, bro. And it's like every time it hits hard, and
it got you.
It's just like it's got me like being retrospective around the ones that I love, and it's like, on the one hand, like everybody's gonna have to pass someday, and like I'm gonna have to come to that realization. And then maybe I might be the one who passes for those that are younger, like my nephews, and maybe they might see it in that way as well. But like the folks who are older, like I'm fortunate to still have like my mom and my dad around, and like my uncles and my aunts, but it's going to come a time when they're going to start fading away too. And like, just especially like my mother, she lost her mother. I want to say it was right before Benoit went through. Well, Benoit committed all that stuff, which was, I want to say 2007, 2008, right before he did that. I remember it vividly because Benoit was my favorite wrestler back then. But it was like a few months before then, my grandmother passed away. And just to see how that still kind of affects my mother now is like, I don't know how it's going to affect me once I start seeing like my immediate family start to kind of head back home, as they say. And so, yeah, that song just really hit me, bro. Like, even now, it's like I get like goosebumps in the back. I'm like The Rock. I'm like, just hearing that song. And like I'm trying to keep it in because like my voice is getting a little shaky, but yeah, just the thought of that is like, man, from this doggone metalcore song,
from this German metalcore song.
It's like, but they speak in English though.
So for those that don't know, Chris and I were on Post Wrestling, and we did a review of. We do a lot of music reviews with Way, and there was the one album we did, Chris, with the Jim Johnston album, where like the song was like, "Who will Macbeth? Will we find the donut?" All them crazy lyrics. They should have got Ray's people to write that song. It would have been more emotional and heartfelt.
But yeah, I feel you, Ray. Yeah, because like my aunt died at the end of 2024, and I still haven't completely gotten over it. She got hit by a car, which was like, my aunt had HIV. She was in and out of doing crack. You know, she anytime she was in a bad mood, she'd do crack. She just had a lot of stuff going on. You know, I expect you know, I just her dying in that way just, you know, still irks me, you know. Because she, you know, I always feel she should still be around. She did all the stuff her doctors told her to do with the HIV, and then you know, and I lost my father at a young age too. I barely remember. I remember enough of him to remember him not being around anymore. You know, because I was like 3 years old when he died. So yeah, so those things are not easy to get over. And sometimes people think because you lost your father at a young age, it's easy. If you remember anything about these people, it messes with you, you know.
Yeah. Even if you don't, like just the absence can mess with you.
Yeah. And also like another thing that touched me is that scene in Antoine Fisher where he meets family that he didn't know he had, you know.
Yes.
Because
good Antoine
Fisher. I'm like my uncle Michael, I've known him since I was a kid, but I didn't start knowing him until like recently. And I'm connecting with some people on that side of my family. Not a lot, but you know, some, and it's cool stuff, man. So you know. And also it's you know, once their journey is done, all it means is this is our turn at the moment, you know. So we just got to leave a legacy for the ones that come after us.
Exactly.
And even if you don't have children, your legacy are the kids that you teach right now. And the stuff we do on these shows and on my Substack and on the Patreon and on Post Wrestling and all that stuff. So it makes me feel kind of good in the middle of all this kind of loss and stuff, you know?
Yeah. And like you said, like life is finite, and it's the question that we always pose to people when we talk about subjects like this is, what did you do with your dash? You know, you got your birth date, your death date, and then the dash that signifies a life lived. And so that's all you can ask of yourself and of others, is to do the best you can with that dash. And I'm glad you brought up Antoine Fisher, because that's one of my favorite low-key movies, man. Just like that scene where he meets his real family is great. But then my other favorite scene is when he meets the family that he had that treated him wrongly. Treated him badly, and he finally has a chance as an adult to stand up to them, Chris. And it reminded me of how I felt earlier tonight when, you know, like we know Ray got a shoot job, all of us got shoot jobs, we got life, but I felt abandoned. And so now I have the chance, Chris, to look Ray in the eyes as an adult and say, hey, it doesn't matter what you tried to do, Ray, what you tried to do to destroy me. I'm still here, still standing, still strong. And I always will be, feeding these ducks on the pond. Hit the music. Or cut the music. And that was Feeding Ducks on the Pond, and that brings us to a close of another edition of the Parlay. This was a good one, fellas. Like we had some fun, but I think we also, particularly in that opening segment, Chris, touched on some very important topics that the country's kind of going through right now.
Yeah, man. It's just, you know, the world is a crazy place right now. You know, we just, like I said, we're all trying to figure it all out together, you know? And again, we can't look to politicians to save us. We are the ones that are going to save ourselves. The politicians are just the vessel. They are the tools that we need to get to the destinations that we want to be at. You know, simple, real simple.
Well said, Doc. Because the world is crazy, Ray, and you see a lot of things that don't make sense in this life, and it really makes you wonder, man. It's gonna stick, Ray. It's gonna stick.
You got me on the third time around.
But that's gonna bring an end to this edition of the Parlay. We appreciate everybody that is watching us, everybody that checked us out tonight live, or anybody that is listening or watching in the future. Shout out to all the Substack people that have checked us out. We'd appreciate it if you not only subscribe to our Patreon, but also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And get Chris to 200. Get Chris to 200 paid Substack subscribers. Ray Williams, you was the last one here, but I'll let you be the first one to promote, brother. All jokes aside, we appreciate you, Ray. We appreciate you being on the team and what you bring to this crew. But anything you would like to promote, brother? Anything you want to shout out? I know you did a live watch this past Saturday for the UFC.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Myself and brother Jay Lacey, the upper prelim Jay Lacey when he's on SBF, as brother Nate deemed him. Yes, he joined me, and you're going to be hearing a lot more from brother Jay on SBF Styles Break Fights as we go into the immediate future. So yes, he joined me for the UFC 325 live watch, which featured Alexander Volkanovski successfully defending and retaining his UFC featherweight championship against Diego Lopez. We had a lot of fun, man. We had a lot of fun chatting it up together. It feels good having another person to bounce stuff off of. I don't mind going the Joey Styles route every now and then, but sometimes
that's difficult, man. I feel you, bro. Yeah.
So I appreciate him joining me, and hopefully we can get him and others to join us for more live watches, because it was pretty rough, especially with the back-to-back, but he really helped me out on that one and helped me easy. It made the time go by a bit faster, and we had more finishes on the main card as well, which also helped out too. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, you can support us with SBF right here on the Nefarious Media Network. And continue to just show your support through the YouTube and through all of the other means here. We actually, I believe we got a new subscriber during the show. So shout out. I believe the name is Christina. Let me go ahead and pull it back up.
Christina Milian.
Christina Santoyo.
Christina Applegate.
Not we might, after she hears this, the support from her fellow MS warrior. Hopefully we can get her on board. But Christina Santoyo. So thank you, Christina, for
shout out to you, Christina.
Shout out as we continue on the drive. I'll let brother Nate finish the whole. He does it much more better than me, just like the intros. It's some things that aren't built for me, brother. But yes, as we continue on with the drive towards our goal. And real quick, before I give my individual plugs, the woman that you mentioned from Colorado, Chris, Tina Peters. If y'all ain't get into her, that woman is crazy with a capital C.
Or a capital K.
Well, 3 capital Ks.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Exactly. the audacity of that one, the caucasity of that woman is just phenomenal. But anyway, don't support Tina Peters. Support us here in Nefarious. And if you want to support me individually, you can find me on Instagram at MondoDondo1. You can find me on Blue Sky at Two-Way Ray, and you can also find me here on YouTube at Two-Way Ray. So
okay, appreciate you, Ray Williams. Always glad to have you aboard. Chris Ely, let the people know what you got going on. Shout out to Substack and where they can find all of your work, whether it's podcast or written.
Yeah. So you can catch me on the Substack, which some of you are doing. I don't know if Christina is one of the Substack subscribers or not, but appreciate it. I did, Nate, get one extra paid subscriber while we were doing the show. So that's
nice.
The thing is me and you will figure this out, right? We will figure out how, because you can live stream on Substack and YouTube at the same time. I just have to figure out how those things work. I think once we do that, it'll help grow the YouTube channel. hopefully help grow the Patreon channel too, because we got a lot of bills to pay. Like I said, as long as the White House people don't think or don't know that Ray is associated with anyone from the Lincoln Project, we should be able to get a press pass relatively easily. If they find out you're friends with me or you know anybody from the Lincoln Project, I'm sorry, my dude. It's just that's what it is.
I feel like Ray just going to cover this fight has now turned into like a Born Identity type mission where he got to sneak in. Yeah. It's a heist.
Yeah. Right. We have to do something, man. We have to get you in some of that Eddie Murphy makeup he wore on in White Like Me.
Oh yeah,
SNL, just to get you in there.
In the door.
But yeah,
hello, Mr. President. My name is Raymond Williams.
Right. Yeah. And if you're listening on the Substack, please transfer over to the YouTube and become a subscriber, because people are liking the video. I've got there's like 6 likes in the Substack. You know, okay. I'm getting hearts and comments and shit.
Okay,
it's not transferring to the YouTube channel. So I do think the way we fix
any good comments on the Substack?
Nah, not so. It's like appreciate you, Professor. Entertaining show. That's about it. So like nothing like.
Hey, Hollywood movies have promoted themselves with less, Chris.
Right, yeah, I'm about to say we I think there's a way. It's just we're gonna have to figure out how to get the
user Joe Jackson says entertaining.
Yeah. get the live Substack with the thing. So I think it's gonna, because the way I sign into Substack is the way you sign into StreamYard, right? What they do is they send you a notification code on your YouTube or to your email for the StreamYard, and then you sign in that way. That's how it is with Substack too. So I'll just have to with Ray just see, and maybe he could figure out how some of that stuff goes. Yeah. And we'll get this shit taken care of, and I think by the summer we will be in a decent financial shape with all the extracurriculars, because I have more hope for that with the growth of the Substack, because like I said, the Substack, I'm on pace to make as much as I make teaching my college classes. So I think we could get to that point with YouTube and Patreon and all that. We just have to we got to crack the code, and we've been cracking this shit for a decade. So help us out. Yeah.
Yes, help us out. Appreciate everybody that is joining us from Substack. And for those of you that like the more politically themed conversations, don't worry. We have a podcast, a dedicated political podcast in the works, featuring one Professor Chris Ely. We just ain't got the details worked out yet, but it's coming. It's coming at some point.
Yeah. It could drop at any minute. So
any minute. You ain't ready for it.
Yes.
But if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Right.
Indeed. And also, hey, guys, come on over. He is dropping like 3 credits worth. What the credits go like $400 a credit over there in Fullerton. He's dropping 3 credits worth. And all we asking is to come over to the YouTube for free, and $3 if you come in for the Patreon.
That's $1 a credit.
For 1 semester. Come on.
You can't beat that anywhere in education. $1 a credit.
Right. You don't have to take out no loans.
Nope.
Get a nearly free political science. You ain't even got to buy a uniform. You can watch this in your pajamas. Right. We're gonna make no claims like Trump University and be like you can earn a whole degree, but you people than you were before you came in.
Yes. You can't put us on your resume. I stayed for 3 years at Nefarious Media.
And we ain't gonna give you no gold card either. No.
No, not even you, Nicki Minaj. We ain't got one for you. More on that later. But if you do want to support us here at the Nefarious Media Network, where we are creating truthful, thoughtful, turned up commentary on the world in the way that it is, not the way that they want to tell you that it is, there are ways you can help us out, because we are in the midst of the drive for 500 Patreon subscribers, which will allow us funds to do a lot of different things here at the network. It'll allow us to upgrade equipment. I noticed my laptop is starting to go on its way out. So I've got a laptop I got my eye on. Not ready to pull the trigger on it just yet, but it'll help us upgrade our equipment. It'll help us bring in new people to the team, maybe even another producer. So Ray won't feel guilty that he showed up late, man. It'll help us devote more time to the Patreon itself and promote exclusive shows like the Avengers Initiative on the Patreon, like Kung Fu Island Season 2, which is coming eventually with me and Brent Chittenden. So we got a lot of things planned here for the network, and you helping us out on Patreon will go a long ways towards meeting some of those goals. And here at YouTube, 500 subscribers gets us halfway to monetization. So we're trying to do some big things here, man. Do something with our dash while we have time to utilize it. So if you enjoy the conversation, if you think we are entertaining, as so many people on Substack are saying, then support your team. But that's going to bring it into this edition of the Parlay. We'll be back on Monday. Yes, quick turnaround. We'll be back Monday with one of the biggest kings of sports in a while, where not only will we talk about what happened today at the NBA trade deadline in depth, but we will also talk about the Super Bowl, Ray.
Oh, yeah.
The Super Bowl between the Patriots and the Seahawks. Who will win? We don't know, but we'll tell you on Monday. We'll probably also have our thoughts on the Bad Bunny halftime show, because a lot of people got thoughts about Bad Bunny on these streets.
I hope he doesn't sing a lick of English at that Super Bowl show, just to troll everybody.
Yes.
Stay in Spanish, man.
Just sing everything in Spanish.
Yeah,
Bad Bunny, we support you, brother.
Yeah.
Don't even say hello. Just come out.
Me amo Bad Bunny.
Don't even say thank you at the end and be like, gracias.
Buenos noches. Adios.
Yeah.
And then the dude comes on. This has been Pepsi's. See, it would work if I could speak better Spanish. But Super Bowl halftime.
Yeah.
Presentada.
I gotta say this too. I think Drake took the biggest L at the Grammys this year, and he wasn't even at the show. More so than Macklemore. I think the Grammys are just I think they're just trying to do right by Kendrick Lamar. Ever since he lost that one, they just be throwing Grammys at that dude. The only one he didn't get was the album of the year, which went to Bad Bunny.
Yes.
I don't, objectively speaking, I'm not saying this has to be your favorite diss song. Objectively speaking, They've Not Like Us or Not Like Us is the greatest diss song ever. Because I don't know any other rap diss song, or probably diss song period, that got a motherfucker winning Grammys. got old white people singing it. It's just Drake, man. Leave the diss game alone. Just be a rapper. Come back. You still got your cred, man.
And you knew it was gonna happen, Drake. You said Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody give him a Grammy right now, and they did.
Yep.
You can minimize that all you want, Kendrick. I mean Drake. that song struck a chord and touched a generation of people, man. I can't even explain it, but it just did.
There are colleges, all white colleges that are playing other white colleges, and the halftime band is playing "They Not Like Us." I'm like, y'all are exactly like them.
Yeah.
So, like, just leave the disc game alone, Drake. You're not cut out for it, my dude.
Just try to keep it PG, brother.
Right? Yeah.
Although Drake did have a little victory. I don't know if you guys heard about. There was an anonymous poll between 58 NFL players that asked them who would they rather see dead or alive perform at the halftime show. 13 of the players mentioned Michael Jackson. 11 of the players mentioned Drake. So little victories, brother. Little victories.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Take the W's where you could get them.
Drake. Yeah, all victories don't have to be this huge major thing, Ray. Sometimes victory can just be a minor. And on that note, you can find me on Twitter at the number 8 MOZAIK, at Black or at Nate Mosaic 757 on Blue Sky, at Black Nate BLAQUE _Nate on Instagram. And if that wasn't enough, Ray Williams, I got a whole story about me up right now and my whole career at the NNPS TV telecom website.
Oh, nice.
So if you want to learn more about me,
cool,
then you can check that out. Yeah, they got a story about me and my whole career, son. I'm like Roy Jones Jr. Y'all must have forgot. But yeah, if y'all want to check that out, learn a little bit more about me, head over to NNPS Telecom and check out the article done by Beth Scott, who did a great job with that. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this edition of the Parlay. Appreciate everybody for checking us out. For Ray, for Chris, I am the Godfather named, and for Prince, R.I.P. I am the Godfather, Nate Milton. We'll see y'all on Monday. Hit the music, Ray.